waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by September 2nd, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Using the Labor Day weekend to get some work done? We got you. Stop by any store to save on oil, fuel system cleaner, wipers, and more. Looking for an end-of-summer wash? We've got deals for that too. Don't want to leave the garage? Get same-day delivery on AutoZone.com. Do Labor Day your way by getting something done at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is again ranked #1 in the nation for cancer care by U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals rankings. Our physicians treat more types of cancers in a day than many see in their whole career. This unmatched depth of expertise, combined with our groundbreaking discoveries, gives our patients access to the most innovative treatment options. Learn more at mdanderson.org.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Chiefs fans, it's Hollywood Brown. Welcome to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
We will get to this. I'm not even going to call it a controversy. It's a non-troversy, in my opinion. It is one of the dumbest debates back and forth that I can remember in quite some time involving the Kansas City Chiefs. Before we do that, I want to get you the latest on the injury information regarding Isaiah Pacheco. It sounds like he is going to miss a noticeable amount of time. Here's the latest from Ian Rappaport of NFL Network.
Isaiah Pacheco, sources say, fractured his fibula in yesterday's Chiefs win over the Cincinnati Bengals. This was kind of the fear leaving the stadium. He was in a walking boot. He was in crutches. Anytime they're going to take a look at the bone, usually that's not good. This is why. Initial test showed a fractured fibula. Now, my understanding is he's going to have more tests today to determine if there is associated damage. In other words, if there is damage to the ligaments, what needs to happen next, and how long he is going to be out. But it is a fracture, and generally those are 4, 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks. Don't be surprised if Isaiah Pacheco is placed on injured reserve. And for the Kansas City Chiefs, they do have some options at running back. Some we saw on the field yesterday. They do also have Jerick McKinnon, who's played for them the last couple of years, who is a free agent. There are certainly some options, but they are 2-0, and they have now lost Hollywood Brown for the foreseeable future and Isaiah Pacheco to a fractured fibula.
We are going to give you more of the names coming up at the top of the hour. We have gone through the free agent pool, and we'll go through the running backs that I think make the most sense for this team, or I think could be a good fit for this team. Rob, before we get to that conversation, I would like to maybe come to this consensus, and maybe the text line disagrees. 913-586-7965. They need to go do something at running back. I asked you this because I know you were Mr. Running Back doesn't matter. Running back is interchangeable. Right now, they have 2 running backs. They have Carson Steele and they have Samaje Perine. And Perine, I like him in the role that they have, but he is much more of the change of pace, throw it out of the backfield guy. He's not a guy that you're going to trust with 8 to 10 carries. That's not who he's been. So I expect sometime before Wednesday's practice, the Chiefs are going to have another running back on their team. Is that going to be you elevate somebody from the practice squad? I certainly hope that that's not the answer to this question. And I hope that they go out and they spend a little bit of money to grab somebody out of the free agent pool. You are an available running back in the middle of September. I don't want to hear about cap space, none of that. You also are not trading for anybody at this point in the season. That can be an option for you in week 8, week 9 of the NFL season. When we get close to Halloween, if you want to have that conversation about trading a draft pick for a running back, sure, we can have it. Nobody is making a trade with you heading into week 3 of the NFL season. So you have 2 options. Go get somebody off the street or elevate somebody from the practice squad. But they have to make a roster move at that position between now and the start of practice on Wednesday. You cannot move forward with just the running back room that they currently have now after this injury, and inevitably when you put Isaiah Pacheco on the IR.
We agree on that. I might differ on the names than you, and we can talk about it at the top of the hour. But they cannot go into a game against the Falcons, a game against the Chargers, a game against the Saints, going through the schedule, they cannot enter games with 2 running backs on the roster. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is on the NFI list, and there's no indication that he's coming off anytime soon. So you can't have Carson Steele and Samaje Perine. You, at the very least, need another body. You just saw the demand the position has as far as physical toll. You get hit every time you touch it. So, yes, we are 1,000% on the same page when it comes to this. They need to add a body into the room. I think we might disagree on the actual body I'd like to see them add, but they cannot play games with 2 running backs. And I guess technically Steele is listed at fullback, but that is not good enough right now in the NFL.
Text line 913-586-7965. CDOT, you don't think the Panthers would trade Miles Sanders? I just don't think there's any team in the National Football League that is making that trade for you on September 16th. I also just would like to note, I don't know if the Chiefs want to pick up the contract that Miles Sanders has. Let's say that the Chiefs made the trade for Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders' base salary is $4 million, and he had a roster bonus. Those things have already been paid out by the Carolina Panthers. I don't think that the Chiefs at this point are going to add $3 million in a running back salary. I could be wrong, and I would like Miles Sanders. I just don't think, A, the timing of this injury really coincides. This is a week 7, week 8 conversation. Carolina is 1-6. They have completely thrown their hands up. You don't make a quarterback change the way that Carolina has if you've completely given up on the season. No, they still think they can salvage this thing, and they're trying to fight to at least be competitive. You got a long way to go in this season for you look all the 52 other guys in that locker room and tell them that you have given up on the season. So, no, I don't think Carolina's trading Miles Sanders to Kansas City or anywhere. The Chiefs have 2 options today. That is not the 2 options they will have in 6 weeks, but today it is either elevate somebody from the practice squad or it is go grab a guy off the street. You can go get a Matt Breida. You can go get a Kareem Hunt. You can go get a Damian Harris. We can go through the names, but those are the only options that the Chiefs have right now. So let's talk about this, Rob. I don't really want to spend a lot of time talking about this, but I was talking to Spectre earlier today, and we just kind of have conversations. We bounce ideas off each other, and I like to ask him, what do you think is the most important stories from the game? And he said, I think there's 3 things: Isaiah Pacheco's injury, the left tackle situation, and the officiating. And I kind of looked at him confused, like, what do you mean by the officiating? He's like, oh, you haven't been online. Go check online. So I go on there. And let me tell you that all I see is complaining about the officials. All right. Chiefs fans, we can admit this first part of the conversation, but they also have to admit the second part of the conversation. Have the Chiefs been on the right side of some 50-50 calls? Yes. That is why they're 50-50s. You win some and you lose some. If you flip a coin and you keep calling heads, you might get 3 heads in a row, might get 4 heads in a row, you might get 6 tails in a row. But eventually, if you keep calling heads, eventually it lands on heads. It is a pure 50-50. It doesn't matter what happened before it or what the next one is going to be. Every time you flip that coin, you got a 50% chance of being right. Have the Chiefs been on the right side of some 50-50 calls? Yes. Have there been times where the referees could have potentially swallowed the whistle? The play in the Super Bowl on James Bradbury. Did he grab Juju Smith-Schuster? Yes. We could argue, do you want that call made in that scenario? I think that is a fair argument to have about the play that happened in the Super Bowl. I'm willing to entertain that. But if I'm willing to entertain that, we also have to acknowledge on the other side of the coin, this is not one of those plays. This is not a 50-50 play on the defensive pass interference. It was not a bang-bang play. It's not in question. You don't need to be Tony Romo or Tom Brady or John Madden or Bill Belichick to have an understanding of the game of football, to see that play and come to the conclusion that's pass interference 100 times out of 100. You have to allow the offensive player an opportunity to catch the ball. You guys know I am always on the side of, well, what could the defensive player do? And that we don't make things fair for the defensive player. You tackled him before the ball got there. This isn't NFL blitz. This isn't NFL street. That's a penalty. I don't have it in me to go back and forth with somebody over arguing if that's a penalty or not. It's dumb. It's silly. It insults my intelligence that we would have this debate, that we would have this conversation. And I'm disappointed in some of you going back and forth with Bengals fans or fans from other teams to even argue about this one because it's dumb. What's that saying? They hate us because they ain't us. You want to know who never complains about the officiating? The Tennessee Titans, the Carolina Panthers, because their teams stink. The only teams that we do this complaining about are the really good teams. You want to know why we do this to KU basketball? I hate to tell you guys this. I hate to admit this for you now, especially on camera. You want to know why we do this? Because you win all the time, and it's annoying to the rest of us. So, yeah, we can't beat you on the basketball court 5-on-5, so we like to complain about the officials. Yes, sometimes Fee Luke takes the stairway to heaven. The other time, you guys just beat our teams, and it's annoying to us, so we complain about the officials. We only do this for Duke basketball, KU basketball, Alabama. We only do this for the good teams. I tell you guys this every single year. Complaining about the official is the free space of loser bingo. The officials were not one of the 10 biggest reasons on how Cincinnati lost that game yesterday. So I'm urging you, Chiefs fan, I know you want to get on Facebook, and I know you want to defend Patrick's honor. I know you want to get on Twitter and argue or wherever place you argue, but I'm telling you right now, do this for me. Do this for your own mental health. Stop. Stop arguing with them. They're losers. If you're a Bengals fan, you've never seen your team be successful, ever. You guys got a, well, we shoulda Super Bowl. That's what you got. Chiefs fans, stop arguing with teams that all they have is shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Stop arguing with Buffalo Bills fans. Perennial losers, generational losers. It's been passed down from birthright to birthright. Stop arguing with the Cincinnati Bengals. They, too, generational losers. Stop arguing with them. You want to know how I know they're losers? Because you might be thinking, man, that's harsh, Carrington. 913-586-7965. You've been so mean today. You've been so mean to KU football that told me they were going to make the college football playoff and that they had the best player locally, and now they're 1-2 with the win against Lindenwood. You've been so mean to Cincinnati. Why are you calling them losers? They went to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. You want to know why I know they're losers? Listen to the post game. This is from Cincinnati 1530. Shout out to our guy, Mo Edgar, friend of the show, Mo Edgar. This is from his post-game show. I'm telling you, Chiefs fans, stop arguing with these losers.
And I know referees normally don't win or lose games for you, but in crucial plays today, the calls all went against the Bengals. And I can go back to the Super Bowl last year with the 49ers. It was awful. I can go back to the AFC playoff game. It was horrible. It just seems to me that when other teams play the Chiefs, the referees are always part of the outcome.
Rob, the Chiefs had a big third down conversion on a big catch from Travis Kelce. That play got called back by a penalty, right?
Correct.
Okay. I was just wondering because that was a big play in the game. That happened yesterday, right? The officials, they did that yesterday. Okay. Their superstar wide receiver that's been crying about getting paid got called for unnecessary because he was just arguing with the official. That's the Chiefs' fault? After his own quarterback went over there, tried to stop him, and he kept arguing with the coach on the sideline after the play. Did the officials, or were the officials the reason that Jamar Chase got locked up yesterday by Trent McDuffie? The officials were the ones defending Jamar Chase yesterday. Because I saw you guys' number one wide receiver who took out a $50 million insurance policy. I saw him getting padlocked yesterday. I saw him be non-effective yesterday in the game. But that's the official's fault. Okay. I want to play one more for you. And Rob cut about 7 or 8 of these. So we got all day of Cincinnati Bengals complaining, whether it's tweets, whether it's phone calls. That's all they do is complain about losing. Doesn't it feel good, Chiefs fans, that you've become the Patriots? This is the same thing that they used to say about Tom Brady. You guys remember? You guys used to make that too. Man, the league likes Tom Brady so much you can't even touch him. It's unfair. Remember that? Now they do that about your team. Doesn't it feel good when the shoe is on the other foot? They've never done that for the Bengals. They've never done that for Andy Dalton or Carson Palmer because they're losers.
One point I want to bring up that nobody's bringing up, and yes, DJ Anthony was there a tad early, but if you really stop and look at the play, if you go back and look at it, our defensive lineman was being held by the Kansas City Chiefs left tackle.
Yep.
It should have been offsetting penalties, and we would probably win the game. Nobody's bringing it up. I've got it on freeze frame, and he's clearly being held. And, I mean, if you go back and watch it, you'll see it. You'll see it plain as day.
Yeah, I've seen that replay on it. You're right.
All game.
You remember when you guys used to complain all the time about Tom Ali getting held? That's what they're doing. I want you to remember this quote. Complaining about the officials is the free space of loser bingo. Also, B3 is, hey, they miss holding on this call. That's another thing, a part of loser bingo. It really is. I mean, Cincinnati was really playing the hits in this one. They really were. I guess you have to do that to get over the fact that you outplayed Kansas City and it still wasn't enough. The Bengals probably should have won this game. They really should have won this game. They had more yards than the Chiefs. They won the turnover differential. Patrick Mahomes threw for 137 yards and 2 interceptions. They won time of possession. Cincinnati did a lot of the things that you need to do to win the game other than score more points than the Chiefs. Hey, what about that missed extra point that you guys had? Man, Kansas City won by 1 point. You guys missed an extra point in this game. That was the official's fault, though, right? That's why you missed the extra point, the refs? They're the reason you missed? Okay, all right. Good luck, Cincinnati. 0-2, once again, out-coached, outclassed, out everything to start the season, but it's the Chiefs' fault. The Chiefs, who have the best record in September since 2018, and you guys don't. The worst team in September during that time frame. So that obviously is the official's fault. We don't need to spend too much time on it. All right, Rob, this is what I would like to do here. You know what? Why don't we have a positive college football conversation? Why don't we give out a couple of helmet stickers from this past weekend? I watched a lot of college football. I know that you also watched a lot of college football. Why don't we give out a couple of helmet stickers, and then we'll get back to Chiefs and Bengals coming up in just a bit. Rob, can you give me a little bit of college football music here, please? You know what? I got to give the first helmet sticker this week. I got to give it to Arch Manning. We saw Arch Manning in game 1. And he went out there and threw a touchdown pass and then ran for another one. Arch Manning balled out this weekend. So Quinn Ewers went out with an injury early on in this one, and they called on the redshirt freshman to come in. 9 of 12, 223 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. He also ran for 53 yards and had another touchdown run. Arch Manning had 5 touchdowns. He might be the national player of the week as Texas's backup quarterback. This just goes to show you, man, recruiting matters. Look at how quarterbacks up at that upper echelon, that top pedigree, how they perform early. Arch Manning is balling out. The quarterback at Nebraska, Dylan Raiola, is also balling out. That's the difference in having a high 5-star guy at quarterback and everything else. So I'm going to give my first helmet sticker to Arch Manning, who is one of the better players in college football this weekend.
In that same vein, I'm going to give mine to Jalen Milroe. Now listen, he's one of the better players in college football.
Why is he not the Heisman favorite right now?
You beat me. You saw where I was going.
It doesn't make any sense.
It makes absolutely no sense to me.
Confusing.
He should be the Heisman favorite right now. What he did, I know Wisconsin's not Wisconsin of old, but what he did to Wisconsin was beyond impressive on the road. We thought, oh, maybe he won't gel with Kalen DeBoer. Maybe Alabama's taking a step back. They don't have Nick Saban anymore. You know what he did? He had a crispy 12-17 for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, plus another 75 on the ground with 2 more touchdowns. I mean, he was incredible in their win up in Camp Randall. Like, he is the obvious Heisman favorite. No disrespect to Cam Ward, but give the week 3 Heisman to Jalen Milroe.
You know what? I'm going to give a helmet sticker right now to Avery Johnson. This is the Avery Johnson that people were talking about when he got the role as being the starter. He threw for 156 yards, threw 2 touchdowns, didn't turn the ball over. He was very efficient and also had 17 carries for 110 yards. Avery Johnson this season is not going to be a big-time passer for K-State. But I say this about running quarterbacks in the NFL. You have to say it in college, too. The rushing yards count. He accounted for 266 yards of total offense and 2 touchdowns and didn't turn the football over. When you combine that with all 3 of their running options, ran the ball really well. DJ Giddens had 17 carries for 86 yards. Dylan Edwards had 40 yards rushing and also had a punt return touchdown. He has been explosive when he has touched the football this year. I'm going to give a helmet sticker to the K-State rush attack, a dominant performance on Friday night against Arizona. They won 31-17.
I'm going to give a helmet sticker to a little bit of off-the-radar game, but it was a rivalry game. The backyard brawl. Pitt's quarterback was sensational down the stretch. Eli Holstein, that is the reason they won a bitter, hated rivalry. West Virginia looking like the fraud I thought they were preseason. Pitt with a big win. And I don't know if you saw Pat Narduzzi after the game, Carrington. He said they won the game, they won the backyard brawl, and they beat the officials to do it. I love when a coach gets salty. Sign me up for more of that. Under the radar best game of the weekend, I give my helmet sticker to Eli Holstein, the quarterback at Pitt.
You know what? I'm going to give out one more helmet sticker before we get out of here. I'm going to give it to the Tennessee Volunteers. Now, you know I do not like Tennessee. They're usually first team all hype. They will get a test this weekend. They go on the road to play Oklahoma. But so far this season, they have won 69-3. They beat NC State 51-10 in North Carolina. And they just beat Kent State 71-0 at home. They have one of the better young quarterbacks in college football that you maybe haven't heard of, and they've got a schedule. They got Alabama at home this year in SEC play. They do go on the road to Georgia. Now with there being 4 playoff spots available, Tennessee, I think, is in that Ole Miss Missouri conversation as a team that you think could potentially grab one of those spots. Let's say that Georgia gets one of them. Let's say that Alabama gets the other one. Texas grabs one of them. There's probably one spot that is available in the SEC. I don't know if they get 5 in, but Tennessee has to be in that conversation. Tennessee has been one of the 3 best teams in college football so far this season. All right, we'll get to Chiefs and Bengals coming up on the other side. We'll also talk more about who could replace Isaiah Pacheco coming up at the top of the hour. We got you covered on a Red Monday. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hi, Discover. It's Jennifer Coolidge, and your cashback match has inspired me.
Great. We love doubling the cashback you earn at the end of your first year.
I'm doubling everything now. I'm double dating. I'm double dipping.
Discover cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Our recruiting professionals utilize an award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
I'm Mitch Holthus, voice of the Chiefs. Everyone develops cataracts naturally as they get older. When your vision is affected by cataracts, you should see my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein at Silverstein Eye Centers. Dr. Silverstein is a world-renowned cataract surgeon who performs life-changing laser-assisted cataract surgery with premium lens implants to correct your vision up close and far away. Trust my eye doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein, Silverstein Eye Centers, 816-358-3600 to schedule an appointment.
Kansas football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown, and he throws an awesome block so his teammate can score instead. If this happens, MGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. Everyone knows the most exciting part of football is the score. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only, Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Dana Hughes here to talk about low T. Low testosterone causes a host of problems. These include low sex drive, bad sleep patterns, unproductive workouts, decreased energy, brain fog, and more. If you're feeling like this, it's time for you to treat that low T and change your life. Highland Men's Health are experts in treating low testosterone and other men's sexual health conditions. They've successfully treated many men for low T, and men have seen the amazing difference that those treatments can make in their life. Within just a few weeks, you'll feel your energy return, the brain fog will go away, your sleep will improve, as will your workout, and your sex drive will be significantly enhanced as well. Contact Harlan Men's Health today. They have 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Kansas, Independence, Missouri, between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and their new office in North Kansas City. Contact them today at 844-447-6600 or visit harlanmenshealth.com.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real-person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wake up. Breakfast. And Nature Made vitamins. Whatever your morning sounds like, Nature Made fits right in. Whether you're looking for vitamin C or a multivitamin to get key nutrients, we've got you covered. Now that's a good morning. We take care of you so you can take on your day. Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Keep it twisted all year long with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Twisted Tea is real iced tea that packs a punch with 5% alcohol. Tastes great at the beach, the mountains, or even in your backyard. Look for the bright yellow Twisted Tea cans.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
This afternoon, expect sunny skies with a high of 87.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples store has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. Save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
Welcome to your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
I have 2 random Chiefs thoughts, and I do want to talk a little bit about week 2. Let's start with my first random Chiefs thought. I don't know the young man's name. We just started following each other on Twitter yesterday. You guys know the gentleman that I'm talking about. White guy, kind of skinny, wears the Chiefs kind of suit jacket, looks like Matthew Perry, rest in peace. They show him so many times on the television. They show him more than they show Taylor Swift. They show him all first down, second down, third down. I've never seen them do this with a fan before. X Factor, you're missed at the games, man. Chiefsaholic, you're missed at the games. What happened to the nice older lady? You guys remember, she used to have the little rock'em sock'em robots. The little dolls used to sit in the front row. They used to show her all the time. Whatever happened to her, Rob?
If I knew, I'd tell you.
They used to have the one Chiefs fan that would wear all the arrows for the other team's jersey. What happened?
Where's Belly Boy?
Out of here. All those people walk so this Matthew Perry-looking character can run.
What about Red Extreme?
He seems like a nice gentleman. So I'm not saying this for any shade toward. I'm just saying they show him on television more than they show Taylor Swift. He's always on the screen. Y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. I really don't have anything against the young man. He doesn't seem like he's doing anything. I hope that he's all on the up and up. I don't want to go on Twitter one day and see that he got some wild tweets from back in the day. He doesn't seem problematic at all. So I'm all for it. I just want to know why. One of y'all other fans got to step up. There's a void right now that's missing in the game. X Factor can't go to the games. They locked up Chiefsaholic. They're looking for a Chief. They're always on national TV. That could be you.
I mean, should we be worried about the jacket guy? He sits in the front row. I mean, last time there was a Chief fan that was prominent sitting in nice seats. Turned out, bank robber.
You're saying this dude does like pharmaceutical crimes.
Who knows? This guy could be totally clean. But last time there was a guy in the front row who had a lot of money. It turns out he got that money from robbing UMB.
Yeah, I don't. Whoever you are, man, I hope everything is on the up and up, man. I really don't want to wake up one day and check my Twitter and see that you was into some crypto scam. Come on now. Chiefs Kingdom don't need that right now. You got to get it together, man. You got to get it together, my boy. All right, that's number one. The second thought that I would like to share with you guys is someone posted a picture. Now, Rob, I have not told you about this, but do you know how much it is for you to get a burger, fries, and a drink? So let's say that you are hungry during the Chiefs game. Let's say that you got there late, they were packing the tailgate up, and you're like, man, I'm not going to make it these 3 hours. And then you got to drive home. Man, let's just, you know what, why don't we go get something to eat? Do you know how much it is at Arrowhead Stadium for you to get a cheeseburger and a drink? Let's say you don't even want to go get a beer. You know how much it is?
Let me guess. Cheeseburger and a drink's going to be like $26?
Rob, it is $24.19 for just the burger and the fries. You ain't even got the drink yet to wash it down. You ain't even got the Sprite. You ain't even got the tasty beverage to wash it down. Rob, it is $25.90 or $35.98 if you want to go get that. If you want a burger, fry, and drink combo right now at Arrowhead, I'm looking at the thing. I can show you guys the Burger Kitchen. I wish this was like McAfee's show. We could put it up on the screen. It is $35 for you to get a burger, fry, and a drink. Yo, what's going on out there at Arrowhead, man? What's going on? You paying that, Rob?
No, thank you.
What do you do if your kid's hungry at the game? Like your kid's 11 years old and your kid like grabs you like, Daddy, I'm hungry. And then you're like, all right, let's go get something to eat. And you go up there and you look at them prices. What do? You got to tell them we got food at the house because that's ridiculous.
You're going to learn today. Tough it out.
Should have ate earlier. I told you at that tailgate, you wanted to go around and throw that football around. I told you should have got some food.
We didn't get into this lot at 9 a.m. for a 3 o'clock game for you to eat a cheeseburger Arrowhead, young man. No, thank you. You can watch.
That's a crazy number. It really is. All right, we'll get back to running back coming up at the top of the hour. Before we do that, Rob, I would like to ask you 2 NFL questions. I will answer them first. Let's start with this. Who was your biggest surprise of the weekend? Because this week did not go how many of us thought that it was going to go. I was reading Twitter earlier today, and the people that kind of track the odds and how the bookmakers do, and they said that Vegas, not the team, but the entity, cleaned up this weekend because most of the favorites didn't cover. The Chiefs didn't cover, even though they won. The Ravens didn't cover. The Niners didn't cover. Dallas didn't cover. The popular teams that sort of drive the books, all of them lost this week. Who was your biggest surprise this week? I am going to give you mine. Hey, are the Vikings good? Because I watched a lot of that game. Are the Vikings good? Because I don't know who they got playing quarterback right now. That's not Sam Darnold. But that team, well coached. They're getting good quarterback play. Now we'll see what the health is of Justin Jefferson. Doesn't sound too serious. Sounds like he's going to be okay. But maybe the Vikings are a real threat and a real contender in this division. For all the love that I had for the Chicago Bears, that team looks like it could be the Minnesota Vikings. That's my biggest surprise this week.
Dallas Cowboys. It's not a positive surprise. It's not a, hey, everything's good like it is in Minnesota. I remember on this show last week, you said, hey, we may have overreacted to the offseason Dallas had. They beat the Browns. They dominated the Browns. But you know what? It's very possible the Browns stink. Mr. Nasty Man is a very bad quarterback, and they escaped Jacksonville, who's also bad, with a win yesterday. Dallas didn't just lose this weekend. They got humiliated by a Saints team that we thought was going to be one of the worst in the NFL.
They look good.
They didn't just lose. It's one thing to lose a tough game at home. The Ravens lost a tough game at home. It's another thing to get absolutely boat raced. The Cowboys were my biggest surprise of the weekend.
All right, what was your biggest disappointment from the week? There certainly are a lot of teams that could fit that bill of biggest disappointment. I got to go with the Ravens here. There's no reason why you're the Ravens to lose that game. You're at home. You had all the rest. You're talking about a West Coast team that makes the trip over to the East Coast. It was an early game. Like, all of the odds were stacked against Vegas for them to lose. And for the Ravens to go to 0-2, it's one thing to lose to Kansas City. That's the game. But for them to lose at home to the Las Vegas Raiders that way, absolutely embarrassment, a disappointment. I'm giving my biggest disappointment to the Baltimore Ravens for losing at home to the Raiders.
It's the Rams. The Rams are 0-2, and you can look past a loss on the road, Sunday Night Football, home opener in Detroit, Matt Stafford back in Detroit. You can look past that. That happens. Football happens. They should not have been run off the field by the Cardinals. Kyler Murray looked like Kyler Murray from Oklahoma. Marvin Harrison Jr. looked unstoppable. Cooper Kupp got hurt in the game. I know that he was doubtful to return. Matt Stafford looked like the old man again. We were talking like before the season, there were a lot of people high on the Rams. I was never one of them. That's not here nor there. They being 0-2 is a big disappointment because, like I said, losing to Detroit, football happened. But smoked in Arizona is not football happening.
All right, coming up at the top of the hour, we'll get through possible replacements for Isaiah Pacheco. It sounds like we could have the answer to it. Rob, can you hit the breaking news sounder? We might have an answer to who the replacement could be for Isaiah Pacheco.
The Drive. First to breaking news in Kansas City.
This is from Adam Schefter. With Isaiah Pacheco expected to be sidelined 6 to 8 weeks, the Chiefs are bringing in former running back Kareem Hunt back to Kansas City for a visit on Tuesday, per league sources. Kareem Hunt could help fill the Chiefs running back void. So we'll talk about this more on the other side, but the Chiefs are bringing in Kareem Hunt for a visit. We talked about this just 20 minutes ago. The Chiefs are going to make a move between now and Wednesday. They are not moving forward with the running back room that they have right now with Carson Steele and Samaje Perine. They are either going to get somebody off the street like Kareem Hunt is right now, or they're going to elevate somebody from the practice squad. So if you're bringing Kareem Hunt in for a visit, you are serious about him coming back to Kansas City. I'll give you my thoughts on it coming up on the other side. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hey folks, I've got a couple of important questions for you. Do you know how much money you need to retire? Do you have a plan in place for your loved ones? If your answer is no, it's time to get your financial planning on track with UMB Private Wealth. It's never too late to start. Plus, their team supports you at every step of the planning process. Go to umb.com/privatewealth to schedule your appointment. That's umb.com/privatewealth. Why not start today?
Procrastination. Easy to do, difficult to spell. Millions of Americans suffer from procrastinitis, especially when it comes to spending money on home improvement projects. Remember the cold breeze flowing through your home last winter? You swore you'd replace those drafty old windows before another snowflake flew. Well, procrastinators, there is a cure, and that cure has a name, and that name is Thermo King. They sell and install super premium triple glass reinforced replacement windows. And the best part? They sell them for the same price as standard double glass windows. That's right. Get Thermo King's wind chill busting triple glass windows with twice the insulating barriers as double glass windows, but for the double glass price. One call to Thermo King, and your home will be sealed up tighter than bark on a tree. And you'll start saving money on your energy bills immediately. Schedule your free, no-obligation window consultation today. 888-KING-WIN, or online at thermokingwindows.com.
Our goal is to provide patients with the strongest, most effective, and safest options in this exciting field of regenerative medicine.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
The idea that you can avoid a joint replacement is very exciting.
And that's from a surgeon who's done thousands of joint replacements, but who now believes there's a better way.
Regenerative medicine, as we understand it today, gives lasting pain relief, improved function, without surgery, without drugs.
Under Dr. Scheinkup's leadership, QC Kinetics medical professionals treat patients every day with the most advanced protocols in natural biologics. Literally tens of thousands of people all over America.
I've been doing research on regenerative medicine for 2 decades. This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
What a great NFL weekend, and you have another chance to start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet on tonight's game. You can put together a quick same-game parlay for the Monday Night Football game between the Falcons and Eagles, like Saquon Barkley over his rushing yards, Kyle Pitts for an anytime touchdown, and A.J. Brown to go over his receiving yard total. Just visit FanDuel.com/Alex to make every moment more this season. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of the NFL and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Brought to you by Blue KC is the Coaches with Character program. Do you know a rock star high school coach in your district? Nominate them for the Blue KC Coaches with Character program at bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character. Let's make our coaches feel special and make our community a better place to live, work, and play.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? Well, Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has helped over 35,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares, and they may be able to help you too. If you were misled into signing a timeshare agreement that is a lifetime commitment, if you were told timeshare is a great investment or your maintenance fees will never go up, you need to get the facts about timeshare cancellation. For over 10 years, Wesley Financial Group has been dedicated to helping folks get out of a lifetime of debt by canceling their timeshares. So they created a timeshare exit information kit, which reveals how the timeshare industry works and what your options are for cancellation. Simply call Wesley right now and they will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free. See how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. Again, 800-761-0000.
Brought to you by Indeed.
Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates, all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
You're listening to the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your new home for Chiefs football. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, we were talking about the breaking news right now, if you missed it. This is from Adam Schefter of ESPN. With Isaiah Pacheco expected to be sidelined for the next 6 to 8 weeks, the Chiefs are bringing their former running back Kareem Hunt back to Kansas City for a visit. Per league sources, he could help fill the void that the Chiefs have right now at running back due to the injury of Isaiah Pacheco. That is again from Adam Schefter of ESPN. This is not a fake. I did not get duped here. This is real news. Let's start with this. I do not know Kareem Hunt. I've met Kareem Hunt 2 times. It's fine in our interactions. So I don't want to come off in this segment like I know him. I imagine that many of you are in a very similar position that I am. I don't know Kareem Hunt. So all I can do is go off of your actions and what I know about people. I am always willing to give people a second chance. And you have to accept that sometimes people are going to do people things. Now, in no ways do I endorse or co-sign what got him kicked off the Kansas City Chiefs. He kicked that young woman and then lied about kicking that young woman. Maybe if he tells the truth and gets the help that he needed early on in his career goes drastically different. But you cannot go back and undo time. All you can hope is that that person has learned from the mistakes that they've made over the course of their life and are taking active steps to be different. So this is a decision that I am perfectly fine with Kansas City making on the personal, human, moral level. Kareem Hunt is entitled to forgiveness the same way that you are, the same way that I am. How is he responding to those things now? And has he gone through the proper steps to get better and improve? Because a lot of those same vices and traps that he got caught into the first time he was here are still there. Mosaic is still there. Kareem Hunt was there every Friday night. I am not breaking any news to you. We know this. Is he still going out? Is that still a part of his life? Is alcohol a serious part of his life? These are conversations that his employer needs to sit down and have with him. You got fired from this place. We can use those terms. The Kansas City Chiefs fired Kareem Hunt the last time he was here. They are now thinking about rehiring you. It is obvious why they are thinking about it. Desperate times call for desperate measures. There are not a lot of great options at running back. There is a reason why Kareem Hunt is available. And we'll get to the football portion of this, but the conversation about Kareem Hunt at this point, just given his history and track record in Kansas City, is about the off-the-field stuff. And those are things that just honestly I can't speak to and you can't speak to. At some point, and I imagine tomorrow, you have to sit down with Andy Reid, who is still here. You have to sit down with Brett Veach, who is still here. You got to sit down with Clark Hunt, who is also still the owner of the team, and you got to convince them that you are different. Because there are going to be questions. There should be questions. He got kicked off of the team for violence towards women. How are you doing in your treatment? Those are questions you got to be willing to ask. Answer the tough questions regarding Kareem Hunt and what got him off the team the first time. So I think that they know that. Andy Reid is going to speak to the media on Wednesday. I don't think you do this if you are the Chiefs, if you are not very serious about bringing him in, or at least giving him the opportunity. I think he comes in here. I think he has the visit. He takes the physical. And if it goes well, I expect Kareem Hunt to be the newest member of the Kansas City Chiefs. They have to make a move. There's not a whole lot of available options that are out there. Rob, let's go through some of the options. And I actually want to take you guys' phone calls on this. 913-586-7965. We were supposed to have Patrick Mahomes today. He's actually going to be on the show tomorrow. Had to move some things around because of his schedule. So we got more time now at this point than we usually would. So, I mean, there are a couple available options. You could bring back Jerick McKinnon. Damian Harris is available. Boston Scott is available. Latavius Murray is available. Matt Breida is there are 5 or 6 names and options that you have heard of before. None of them are great options, but that's just kind of where we sit at this point. I guess you could go on the practice squad and you could grab somebody else and elevate them to your 53-man roster, but I would argue it's 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. These are the names. You can bring McKinnon back, but I don't think his skill set is that much different than what you already have in Samaje Perine. You could bring Latavius Murray. I think that's just Kareem Hunt. You could bring Damian Harris, Boston Scott. There are these other available options. Kareem Hunt on a football level makes a lot of sense. You know the system. You still know guys in that locker room. I think the locker room would embrace you. Desperate times call for desperate measures. There is a slot that's open. This team does need an experienced running back that can catch the ball out of the backfield. I think you know what his role is going to be. He's not coming in to be a 1A. He's coming in to fit into what you're doing. Carson Steele's going to get some carries. Kareem Hunt's going to get some carries. Samaje Perine going to get thrown the ball out of the backfield. He'll get 1 or 2 carries. You're not going to be able to replace Isaiah Pacheco with the names that are on the board. But it makes sense to me why the Chiefs like to go familiar. They like to spin the block, as the kids say. They like to go back and let's go get Juju Smith-Schuster. Let's go get McCole Hardman. Let's go get guys that we know, guys that know our system, guys that we are familiar with. We have always operated like there's one of those players that is on the blacklist. No, we will not bring back Kareem Hunt. This visit would suggest otherwise. You're not doing this in week 3 of the NFL season and before Sunday Night Football if you're not serious about having it. So tomorrow, you got to sit down in front of the only 3 people opinion that matter. It does not matter what radio guy thinks. You got to convince Andy Reid, you got to convince Brett Veach, and more importantly, you got to convince Clark Hunt that you are changed and different. And I do think it is the responsibility of the media. I think it's the responsibility of the public. Hey, the last time this person was in our community, he was a danger to women. Let's just call it what it was. It wasn't just the one incident. We got other incidents on video of him being physical with other people. Is this still a part of his life? How is he changed? How is he different? I think that's going to be the theme of Wednesday's press conference. Now, I expect them to say we vetted him, and there's no way to know until you give him the chance and you see what is done with the second chance. But I am a believer that people are entitled to forgiveness as long as you feel they are taking the steps worthy of deserving forgiveness. I can't be the one that holds him accountable. That has to be the infrastructure that is in place with the Kansas City Chiefs. But the Chiefs, I think, have earned the benefit of the doubt to take this kind of chance on a player if that's what they decide to do, and we'll see if it works. But I am going to operate based all the information that we have right now. I think Kareem Hunt is going to be on the team at some point in the next 2 days.
So me and you are on the same page when it comes to the off-the-field stuff. So there's no need for me to rehash whatever you just said. But let's talk for a minute about the on-the-field, because you said it makes the most sense for the on-the-field. Are we sure it does? Are we sure Kareem Hunt is not washed?
No, and really quickly, we can have the football conversation about Kareem Hunt.
That's the conversation I want to have.
But really quickly, though, the only thing I would push back on, because I got the numbers here, and you know I'm big on yards per carry. All of the running backs that are available at this point are washed. You are not a healthy, viable 25-year-old running back that is available heading into week 3. So if you're telling me, let's go get Jerick McKinnon, washed. Let's go get Latavius Murray, washed. Let's go get Damian Harris, Boston Scott. I say this all the time on the show, Rob. There are some things that are March problems and April problems. The Chiefs did not spend a lot of resources on backup running back. We all knew that this was a possibility. We all knew, based on the history of running backs and also Isaiah Pacheco, hey, something could go wrong. You and I have been talking about this on this show for 6 weeks regarding Carson Steele, that if something happens to Isaiah Pacheco, do you trust him to come in and fill in? Shockingly, that happened in the first month of the season. You had a chance to go get J.K. Dobbins for him to be your emergency exit. You chose not to do that. The Chiefs could have got a productive 1-year fill-in running back if they wanted to. They made the decision not to, and they spent that money elsewhere, and that's fine. But now you are in a situation that, hey, you kind of need a veteran running back to step in. There are no good options at this point. So I will listen to whatever option you want to throw out there the text line wants to throw out. I'm just simply pointing out, maybe I would go get Damian Harris. He is also cooked in a lot of ways. There are no good options if your running back gets hurt on September 16th.
I know we need a break. We can actually talk about the football part, because I think the football part actually is more interesting to me. And you're right. On September 16th, anyone in free agency is not viable. And you know what I would do? I would start, if I'm Brett Veach, hunting other people's practice squad. Find a Carson Steele, find a, Derek Gore, find a that type and figure it out. And then internally, you know the deal better with Clyde Edwards-Helaire than anyone, and go from there. But Kareem Hunt might be washed. The numbers really indicate, and he's 29 at running back. That might as well be 500 years old at running back. There are a lot of reasons to believe that, People on the text line is talking like, oh, well, if Kareem Hunt comes back, they'll scheme him up and make him good. He hasn't been good basically since that 1 year in Kansas City. I mean, he was trending toward another good year. Since then, diminishing returns.
So 913-586-7965. I want to give you guys the opportunity to chime in. If you want to call in, we can take your calls. We can read your texts as well. For those of you that are, I guess, just tuning in, with Isaiah Pacheco expected to be sidelined for the next 6 to 8 weeks, the Chiefs are bringing in Kareem Hunt for a visit. So tomorrow, it is an off day around the league. Kareem Hunt is coming to Kansas City. I am fine with Kareem Hunt coming back. There are just some things that I don't have the information to. But Andy Reid does. Brett Veach does. Clark Hunt does. You don't have to convince me on this. You have to convince those individuals that he is a changed person. We have him on video kicking a woman and then lying about the incident. We have another incident where he got into a fight at a local Kansas City nightclub. Like, there were reasons to believe that he was a threat in our community. And you are now choosing to bring that person back. Is he changed? And what is the path that he has taken to improve on his actions before? I think all of us are allowed a sense of forgiveness and a second chance. I'm willing to extend that to Kareem Hunt. So that's the off the field part of it. Let's talk about the on the field part of it, Rob, because I think you might be right. I think Kareem Hunt might be washed. We'll talk about it. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5. The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Are you in need of top-quality metal for your next project? Look no further than Metal by the Foot. Whether you're a DIY enthusiast, contractor, or business owner, Metal by the Foot has the perfect solution for you. Steel, aluminum, brass, and stainless. The Foot. Blue Demon Welding Supplies, filler rods, and wire. The Foot. Bronius Professional Welding Equipment, Service and Repairs. The Foot. Located in KC and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the Foot.
It's the best time of the year. It's tailgate season, and I'm going to be spending a lot of time at Hy-Vee's Wine and Spirits department. This week is the perfect time to stock up and save on wine, beer, seltzer, and spirits during Hy-Vee's Thirsty Thursday sale. This Thursday only, get a 50-cent Fuel Saver discount for every $50 you spend on beer, wine, hard seltzer, and spirits. I love seeing the price at the pump go down when I use my Fuel Saver card. Don't miss Thirsty Thursdays only at Hy-Vee. Offer valid at Kansas City area Missouri stores only.
Score big savings with Hy-Vee and the Kansas City Chiefs. Big points mean even bigger savings. Just shop Hy-Vee the day after a game and earn a Fuel Saver discount equal to the Chiefs score and based on the amount you spend. If the Chiefs score 42 points, you save 42 cents a gallon with any $42 purchase. The more we score, the more you save. Win or lose, everyone scores the day after a Chiefs game only at Hy-Vee. Offer good in-store and online. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
You're always better with a roof from JR.
We've had more than our fair share of hail and wind this year. Are you playing Roofer Roulette? That's when you bet your roof and your home on the first random roofer to ring your doorbell. Why do that when JR & Company offers a free hail and wind report online at jrstormcheck.com? Just plug in your address and we'll pull a multi-year storm report. You'll know exactly what your roof has been put through and if you even need an inspection. If you do, no one is more thorough and works better with your insurance than locally owned, veteran-owned JR & Company. And if you need a new roof, remember, a roof from JR comes with a lifetime warranty on workmanship. Don't play Roofer Roulette with your home. Visit jrstormcheck.com and remember,
you're always better with a roof from JR.
Visit jrstormcheck.com.
Calling all Kansas City football fans to downtown Las Vegas. Join us at Circa Resort and Casino this October for the ultimate game day getaway. Huddle up at Overhang Bar with 96.5 The Fan for our pregame tailgates on Fridays with drink specials and giveaways, including a pair of game day tickets. Then catch all the action at the world's largest sportsbook or lounge in the center of it all at America's favorite place to watch football, Stadium Swim, featuring 6 pools and a massive 143-foot screen. To book your Huddle Up experience, visit circalasvegas.com today.
At Shane Company, we'll help you design an engagement ring as unique as your love story. We have the widest selection of diamonds and gemstones for you to choose from, and you can compare them side by side right here in our store. Only at Shane Company can you sift through exquisite diamonds, rubies, and a rainbow of sapphires in a variety of shapes and sizes. We'll help you create your dream engagement ring no matter your price range. Choose the ring setting that speaks to your style, from classic to modern to vintage. We offer so many ways to personalize your ring. Pick your favorite center stone, add a decorative crown and a custom engraving, or select a perfectly preset ring that's ready to go. At Shane Company, our jewelers know how much your ring means to you. They hand-set each center stone with precision and pride in our jeweler's workshop, so you can feel confident knowing your ring is crafted with the greatest care and comes with an unmatched free lifetime warranty that lets you know we'll always be here for you. Your love story deserves to shine bright. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Which business owner would you rather be?
Oh, please, oh, please, oh, no, no, no. Don't be the fire marshal, not the fire marshal. Why me? Why me? I'm doomed.
Or this business owner?
Hey, it's the fire marshal. Come on in.
Oh, this won't take long. I see Keller has been here.
Keller Fire and Safety has businesses covered in Kansas, Missouri, and throughout the Midwest for fire protection and safety. One less thing to worry about. Call Keller Fire and Safety.
Keller Fire and Safety.
KellerFire.com.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real-person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent. So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle.
Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Free and Gentle. This back-to-school season, Tide and Downy are giving back with $1.5 million in scholarships. Enter to win. No purchase necessary. US/DC 17+. End September 30th. Rules. Tide.com/scholarship/official rules.
Kansas Lottery Play On app. Scan your tickets for more chances to win. Kansas Lottery Play On app. Scan your tickets for more chances to win.
This report is brought to you by Flying H Drag Strip. Drag racing is back in Kansas City. FlyingHDragStrip.com.
Kansas City, drag racing is back. Don't miss the fall SmackDown, September 19th through 21st at Flying H Drag Strip. For tickets and info, visit FlyingHDragStrip.com. The real horsepower hangout.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Northland 35 northbound slows past Vivian, heading up towards 435. Checking it out on the Cordell and Cordell traffic camera, looking at a stalled in the left lane, keeping things slow. Wrecker on the scene, though, so hopefully out of your way soon. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Chiefs fans, it's Trey Smith. Welcome to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, there are a couple things that we can, I guess, get out of the way regarding Kareem Hunt. If you guys missed it, Kareem Hunt is visiting the Chiefs tomorrow. Isaiah Pacheco was going to miss the next 6 to 8 weeks. The Chiefs are bringing Kareem Hunt back on a visit. You don't bring a player on a visit unless you are serious about bringing him back. On the human personal level, there are limitations in our ability to discuss this because you have to sit down and know sort of the character and measure of a man. Kareem Hunt did some pretty bad things to get kicked off of the team. So there needs to be a conversation with the power structure regarding the Kansas City Chiefs on how are you going to give him the help that he needs? How are you going to hold him accountable moving forward? And make sure that those things don't happen while he's here. On a human level, I'm always going to be on the side of second chances. I have made mistakes. You have made mistakes. I don't think it is right for me to judge Kareem Hunt if he is doing the steps necessary to atone for what got him kicked off of the team. That is where forgiveness has to come in too. The only people that can offer up that forgiveness are the people that run the Kansas City Chiefs. He didn't lie to me. He lied to them about it. So in order to get your old job back, there are some steps and measures that you need to take. Let's get a couple of these things out of the way before we get to you guys' phone calls, 913-586-7965. They are picking up someone else. Maybe it's not Kareem Hunt. They are not moving forward for Sunday Night Football with just Carson Steele and Samaje Perine. I also think they are going to get somebody who is not currently in their building. So that includes the practice squad. I don't think they're elevating one of their running backs. I think they're going to get somebody. It appears they have decided who that person is going to be. But I was going to come on here, Rob, and we were going to talk about this at 3 o'clock anyway, so the timing ended up working out. I was going to suggest Damian Harris. I think Damian Harris fits the kind of running back that they like. I didn't think that Kareem Hunt was an option. He appears that he is. I also want to be very clear. This is one of those things that your suggestion is not a bad suggestion because I don't think there is a good one. If you are a running back that is available on September 16th, there is a flaw in you. So you can suggest Latavius Murray. We can go through that. We can suggest Damian Harris or Boston Scott. There is a reason why you are available. I've seen a couple of people say, well, what about Clyde Edwards-Helaire? He cannot play for the next 2 weeks. He went on the non-football injury list, so he is out for the first 4 weeks of the season. So even if he was completely healthy and ready to come back, he cannot come back this week or next week. You need to figure something out for this game against Atlanta. You need to figure something out for the game against the Los Angeles Chargers. And I know you guys don't take the Chargers seriously, but they are undefeated and in your division. So it'd be kind of important to beat them coming up in the next 2 weeks. So I don't have any problems with Kareem Hunt as long as there are steps and made amends on that side. Now let's talk about the football part of things. I don't think that Kareem Hunt is very good. Kareem Hunt, over the last 2 seasons in the National Football League, he has played in 32 games. He has 258 carries. He has 879 yards. For those of you that are not good at math on the fly, that is good for 3.4 yards per carry. Now, he does score touchdowns. He had 12 touchdowns in the last 2 seasons, and he can still catch the ball a little bit out of the backfield. 50 catches for 300 yards, and he also had a touchdown. So I understand why they are bringing him in. I would just be realistic in your expectations about what Kareem Hunt is in 2024. They are not getting the Kareem Hunt that played in the game against the Los Angeles Rams on Monday Night Football. That's not who he is anymore. He is 29 years old, and he was just available for any team to go get him, and he is only joining the Chiefs because their number 1 running back got injured. So I am not telling you that don't go get him. You have to go get somebody. You could spin a wheel, and I think all of those options are fine for what you need. You need a 1B to hold you down for at least the next 4 weeks, and then we can make a conversation about if they should trade. But no team is trading them their running back in week 3 of the NFL season. Carolina is not giving you Miles Sanders in week 3. They might give you Miles Sanders in week 7 or week 8. You are not trading for anybody right now. You have a couple of options. Practice squad of your own guys. You can go poach somebody off another practice squad, but the other team might want to keep that player too. Let's say you want to go get Dalvin Cook. The Cowboys have the right of first refusal. They could just put him on their 53-man roster, and then you can't go get Dalvin Cook. So this is the best available option. Guy off the street, you don't have to manipulate your roster any. You're about to put somebody on the IR. Peyton Hendershot, he just got waived from the team, so a roster spot is available. You bring in some guys for a tryout that you like. You pick the best one of them out, and we all move on with our lives. So I'm not telling you that I think Kareem Hunt is completely cooked, but I would be realistic about 27, 28, 29-year-old running back who has run for 3.4 yards per carry the last couple of seasons, and just be realistic in what your expectations are. That guy is not a workhorse back. He's not a premier back in the NFL. He is a necessary body. And right now in that running back room, you kind of need another body.
I mean, the numbers do feel like he was washed. The other thing to remember about him is that he was in the Browns running back system, which Kevin Stefanski, I believe, is part of that Shanahan zone. You know, this is how we run the ball tree. And by the way, Dearness Johnson, who no one thinks is good at football, Dearness Johnson, while in Cleveland, had 500 yards rushing one year and averaged, wait for it, 5.3 yards per attempt. In the same offense at the same time as Kareem Hunt during the pandemic. Dearness Johnson, now 29, got out of that system, wasn't cooking, is done. Kareem Hunt, who was in that system, wasn't cooking. I think that's another thing to remember and factor in here. It wasn't like he was running behind the 07 Chiefs line. It wasn't like he was playing in some air raid Texas Tech system and he didn't get opportunities. He was playing in a run-friendly Cleveland offense that had made Nick Chubb one of the best running backs in the NFL and turned Dearness Johnson into a 2-year, kind of a fun story we followed from the pandemic and the year after the pandemic. He was struggling at the end in that offense. And Cleveland, who had Nick Chubb coming off a major injury, who had him in the building last year, said no thanks, and they walked on him. I am leaning toward Kareem Hunt being washed because 3 yards a carry is really bad.
It's bad. And like on the text line, I just right here, CDOT, it's hard to get yards when Nick Chubb's the lead running back. It's difficult when Chubb ran. Bro, he ran for 3 yards a carry last year. Like, that ain't got nothing to do with Nick Chubb. He ran for 3 yards a carry. He had 135 carries. He ran for 400 yards last year. So, again, all I'm saying about Kareem Hunt is let's just be realistic about what he is at this point. That's it. There are not a lot of great options for losing Isaiah Pacheco. If anything, we should be more critical of the Chiefs for not preparing for a running back injury when we all watch the NFL. Those of you that play fantasy football, you got Christian McCaffrey, right? He's already hurt. Last year, you drafted Saquon Barkley. He got hurt early on in the season. You know this is a realistic possibility with your team that you could go down with the running back injury. And how are you prepared for said running back injury? They had a chance to go get J.K. Dobbins for nothing. They had a chance to go get J.K. Dobbins. He signed for less than $2 million. You had a chance to go get him. So you could have been better prepared and already had your veteran break in case of emergency option. You chose to pass on it. Now you're scrambling to try to figure it out.
Someone on the text line makes a point that I don't totally disagree with. Now, first and foremost, I do want this note out there. Just because he's on a visit does not mean he is going to sign. Remember, J.K. Dobbins came in on a visit and didn't sign. But if we are of the belief that Isaiah Pacheco is out 6 to 8 weeks, why not try it with Carson Steele, Samaje Perine, and pick a name from a practice squad? And
no, remember, that's not a good idea.
But with the note of it's possible that in the next 2 games, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is eligible to return. I don't know the situation with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You don't know the situation with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but it's possible. Get rid of,
but at what Kareem Hunt is going for, if you like Clyde Edwards-Helaire in 3 weeks, just cut Kareem Hunt. Just cut Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt's going to get the veteran minimum. How much is he going to get? $1 million, $2 million? I assume it's not going to be a guaranteed deal. It's going to be a week-by-week deal, kind of like what they did with C.J. Spiller. Remember C.J. Spiller kept getting – so, yeah, even if you think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the answer, even if you think that, that's fine. Bring in somebody for the next 2 weeks when Clyde is ready. If you don't like what you got, cut him.
But in that world, you're not bringing in a Kareem Hunt for 2 weeks. You're bringing in a Keontae Ingram, Derek Gore. If you're going to keep a guy for 2 weeks on a week-by-week basis, don't waste a spot on a veteran. That'd be how I roster manipulate.
To me, you and I are just different on running back. That's not wasting a spot right now. You just got rid of Peyton Hendershot, who was never going to see the field for your team. He just takes his spot. And, whoever they get is going to get carries. Whoever they're going to get. The text line is adamantly defending Kareem Hunt right now, who was just unemployed yesterday, which is okay. I get it. I understand. And we want to be positive. By the way, again, I feel like now I'm trying to argue the numbers are the numbers. The last 2 seasons, he's averaging 3.4 yards per carry. The text line's telling him, all right, never. I don't care. I don't want to talk about it.
By the way, real quick before we go to the call, what's bothering me about the text line, and I'm going to argue with nothing here, is people are saying, well, it's hard to be great with Nick Chubb. Kareem Hunt was not behind Nick Chubb last year. Nick Chubb got hurt in the second game of the season and had been out the entire year. Their backup should have thrust into the starting role. Who was the backup? Kareem Hunt. You know what he did? Nothing. He was really bad last year.
He was not good. No, I can't. I'm on your side here. I'm on your side. You and I are on the side. You're probably more down on the move than I am. I just don't think that there's a great option either way. So whatever option they got today, let's say that they were bringing in Damian Harris, I'd have to, okay, he's not good. Damian Harris is not good. We know what he is. He was unemployed. Let's keep going. The only reason we're having this debate is because we saw this player in this offense be successful. That's the only reason why.
By the way, what's your rule? If you were good before the pandemic, we don't talk about you on the show?
That's real.
Wouldn't that apply to Kareem Hunt?
No, that's real. No,
before Pfizer was a thing, he was dominating.
The last time he was good, the Cleveland Browns quarterback was good. Deshaun Watson was good. In 2021, he got hurt. He played in 8 games, 78 carries, had less than 400 yards. He wasn't good in 2022. He wasn't good in 2023. This is you guys trying to tell me that Michael Thomas would be a good addition. It's kind of the same thing. Michael Thomas was also really good in 2019. He's not good now. He's also unemployed. So if they got Michael Thomas, I'd have the exact same opinion on it. Let's go to the phone lines, 913-586-7965. I do want to take you guys' calls the rest of the way. If you want to chime in, you are more than free to do so. Let's talk about Kareem Hunt, who is visiting the Kansas City Chiefs tomorrow, and we'll see if they sign him. Rick, happy you called in today, man. How you doing?
Hello?
Hey, Rick.
Hey, man, I'm really sorry. I didn't hear you say my name.
No problem, man.
I have no problems with Kareem Hunt. I think it's what Dick Vermeil used to say. It's time for the big boy pants for Carson Steele. And hopefully Clyde can come back in 2 weeks. My other main question to you is, the NFL is a copycat league. And since Cincinnati went to their 2 safeties, the over-the-top's not going to be there. Why are the Chiefs not pursuing Hunter Renfrow? Every time it seems like we played against us, he just lit us up, and I think he would fit Mahomes well. Thanks for my call.
No problem, Rick, man. I appreciate the phone call. I would also like to throw out the fact that Hunter Renfrow also unemployed right now. Also unemployed. I know there's a lot of bad general managers out there. I'm not going to make it seem like all of these general managers in the NFL are good. 32 teams have had an opportunity to get Hunter Renfrow all offseason. He continues to be unemployed with this team. I'm starting to think that Hunter Renfrow, something is wrong. Same thing about in 2022, Hunter Renfrow had 330 yards. Last year, he had 255 yards receiving. This year, he is not on a team. So maybe they know something that we don't know. If you guys would like to chime in, because the text line is very optimistic about Kareem Hunt. I want to talk to more of you about Kareem Hunt. 913-586-7965. You are more than welcome to chime in and give us your thoughts on Kareem Hunt. I guess I can't be more clear on my feelings on this than this. I don't think they're in a great position to fill this with a player that is going to make all of us happy, given when this is. Now, if you go get Kareem Hunt, and let's say that it doesn't work with Kareem Hunt, you are in it for a very small amount of money. You can very easily just cut ties with him. And if this is an issue for you heading into the trade deadline, then you should go make a trade. Because if there is any position on the field that you could trade a 4th-round pick for, and that guy can come in and help your offense almost instantly, it would be at the position right now that they're a little bit thin on. So this is not a move to me that should be viewed as a long-term move. This is a move that is a possible bridge to help you until either Isaiah Pacheco comes back or you get enough information and data point where, this isn't really working. Hey, you know what? We can go get Miles Sanders, and Carolina's willing to eat some of that contract. We could trade a 5th-round pick and go get Miles Sanders. Let's go get him. Maybe you go get Devin Singletary from the New York Giants. So this, to me, is a week 3 through week possible 7 option, and then we'll see what happens from there. This is a low-risk, I would say possible medium reward kind of move. Let's go back to the phone lines. Mike called into the drive. Hey, Mike.
Hey, how we doing, buddy?
How you doing, man?
Hey, so on Kareem Hunt, I do believe that he could come in and help us score some touchdowns near the goal line. But I also wonder about Michael Carter, the former Jet.
All right, let me look up Michael Carter. I appreciate the phone call, Mike. Let me look up Michael Carter here. I wasn't really thinking about Michael Carter as a possible option. Let me look at Michael Carter. I'm going to guess that I'm not going to be very impressed when I look at Michael Carter as an available option. I'm just not thinking I'm going to be overly impressed with what I've seen. You got anything on Michael Carter?
I'm pulling up his numbers right now. I have no problem with it conceptually, but I also don't have the numbers up in front of me. Michael Carter. course, there's 1,000 Michael Carters in the NFL.
Yeah, all these options seem the same to me.
So the former Jet Michael Carter?
Last year, Michael Carter had 30 carries for 187 yards and didn't score a touchdown last year and caught it out of the backfield a little bit.
And the Jets traded him when they had no running back.
Yeah, this is just simply trading the Caps from red to blue. So, yeah, again, if you got a different guy that used to be good in 2021 and now you think they would be good on the Chiefs, I'm not here to tell you that your answer is wrong. I'm really not. If you say go get Boston Scott, sure, I can poke holes in Boston Scott. If you like Kareem Hunt, great, go get Kareem Hunt. I'm just simply telling you there are not a lot of good options for where we are at this point in the season. I do want to play some of this for you, and we got Mitch Holthus coming up at the top of the hour, so a great time to talk to Mitch Holthus, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. We told you guys earlier that Bengals fans, they've been crying about the officiating. They really have. They've been nonstop complaining and crying about the officiating. So Rob, he had an ear to Cincinnati postgame, and trust me, that's all they were talking about was the officiating. So this is the Bengals postgame. This is on 15:30 in Cincinnati. Oh, listen to this.
Obviously, the Bengals are going to be have more penalty yards. 8 penalties against the Bengals for 79 yards. Only 4 penalties against the Chiefs for 44 yards. So again, I'm with you guys. I think the refs calling that play is an absolute disgrace to football.
I want to play some more post game for the Cincinnati Bengals yesterday after they lost.
I think we've said this before before it was the Ravens and the Steelers. Now it's the Chiefs. The Bengals we will always get those calls against us. I don't know what we're not going to go down the conspiracy rabbit hole, but there is something that to be said that we can never be in those ticky-tack end of the game calls because they always go against us. And maybe it's just a dark cloud over the Bengals' head, or maybe there is something higher up. But if there is a call that's ticky-tack and can go either way, it's always going to go against the Bengals. You need to be coaching those players when they're playing that prevent, essentially a Hail Mary play, that do anything but do not pass interfere because it will be called.
That wasn't a Hail Mary. It was third down. It was third down. That wasn't a Hail Mary. And that's not a ticky-tack penalty. That is an obvious and blatant pass interference. There have been some 50-50 calls that have gone Kansas City's way. Yes, I agree. Maybe all of Chiefs Kingdom doesn't want to say that, but there has been. Okay, you're right. This is not the hill to die on, an obvious penalty. There is not a single person that watches the NFL that sees that and doesn't come to the conclusion that that's pass interference. The officials, they're bad enough at the stuff they should be good at. I'm never going to be mad at the officials for calling a play a penalty that is an obvious penalty that happens in the middle of the field. That's a penalty. Just like a face mask is a penalty. If there was a face mask at the end, we wouldn't say, oh, man, hey, you can't call it in that spot. It's ticky-tack. No, you grabbed his face mask. That's a penalty. Rashee Rice is going up for the ball. You clearly tackle him before the ball is there. You get flagged for that. I'm sorry. That is not why Cincinnati lost the game. It's not one of the 5 reasons on why they lost the game. That the officials called a play correctly, that's how they lost? Well, then be better. We got Mitch Holthus coming up in 20 minutes. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them. With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise. No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures. It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Your coworkers might annoy you, but we promise we won't. Download the free Odyssey app and you can listen to us at work while you tackle your inbox or get ready for another meeting that probably could have been an email. Tune in late? You can rewind your favorite live shows to catch what you missed. And with Chapters, easily jump to the topics that you care about most, like the latest updates from your team. Your sports talk, your way. The Odyssey app. Download it today.
Winchester at Lake City Army Ammunition Plant in Independence is the largest manufacturer of small caliber ammunition for the U.S. military. They're hiring technicians starting at $26.72 an hour with a $1,000 hiring bonus. Excellent day one benefits include medical, dental, educational support, paid time off, and company retirement contributions up to 8%. Join Winchester and serve the U.S. warfighter. It's more than a job. It's a mission. Apply at winchester.com/careers.
COVID-19 cases are on the rise, and peak flu season is almost here. Save time and get the updated COVID-19 vaccine and your flu shot at the same time at Hy-Vee. Schedule your updated COVID-19 vaccine and flu shot online today, or just stop by any Hy-Vee pharmacy whenever it's convenient for you. No appointment necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. Your Hy-Vee pharmacy is here to help you and your family stay healthy. Some restrictions apply.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here with the Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Please gamble responsibly.
Week 2 of pro football wraps up tonight. Monday Night Football in Philadelphia with Philly, a 5.5-point home favorite against Atlanta. Total in the game is 46. Now, in case you missed it, Philly's #1 wide receiver ruled out for this game with a hamstring injury. That's why we've seen some betting action come in on Atlanta. Now, we don't know how good Atlanta's quarterback is going to look second game coming off a torn Achilles, so I don't want to bet the side or total pregame. Instead, I want to look at Atlanta starting running back over 64.5 rushing yards after Green Bay went for over 5 yards a carry last week against Philadelphia.
That's it for this Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Okay, everyone, what did you think of the chocolate bar?
It's too chewy.
Feels kind of chalky.
Too much nougat.
I need to go brush my teeth.
Business is booming for Steph's small marketing research firm.
After all these focus groups, there's only one conclusion. I need more researchers.
And she's way too busy researching
Does this have peanuts?
to waste time researching resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
If you're hearing this, you're in Chiefs Kingdom, the land of champions. And what do champions do? They win. Play the world champions Kansas City Chiefs instant ticket from the Kansas Lottery for a chance to win up to $75,000. Or enter your tickets into the Play On app for a chance to win one-of-a-kind Chiefs experiences.
Because the only thing better than winning is winning again. See KSLottery.com for details.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Jay's Southland Tow Service. Heading into downtown, it's very slow on 670 eastbound. Checking it out on the Cordell and Cordell traffic camera. You hit delays around Wyoming Street, and it's just crawling all the way over into the downtown loop past I-35. Having unexpected car trouble or just in a car accident, call Jay's Southland Tow Service 816-779-4869 or southlandtow.com. Use the tow service trusted by most local police departments. They can do it all, so be in the know and call Jay's Southland Tow. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Welcome to your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into the drive on 96.5 The Fan. Coming up in about 10 minutes or so, we're going to be joined by Mitch Holthus, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. Earlier, I got the down and distance wrong on something. I want to apologize. I was off. All right. I don't want to talk about this for too much longer right now because we did at the top of the hour, but I would like to address this part. And this is how I just say there are no good options. Rob, you were looking at the same text line that I am. The most popular options are Leonard Fournette and Dalvin Cook. Is that what you're seeing? That's what I'm seeing on the text line. Let's go get Dalvin Cook, and why not bring in Leonard Fournette? Somebody also suggested bringing back Deneric Prince. All I'm saying regarding this Kareem Hunt thing is, and I promise you we can move on. All of the options that you were going to present are very easy to poke holes in. For example, Leonard Fournette. Last season, he was hurt for Buffalo, only played in 2 games, had 12 carries for 40 yards. He is also unemployed. In 2022, he played in 16 games for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He averaged 3.5 yards per carry. It's over for Leonard Fournette. We can go to Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook last year on the Jets. He was bad last year for the Jets, and he can't get on the field for the Cowboys that have Ezekiel Elliott, Rico Dowd, and Deuce Vaughn. He's also cooked. So you can throw out these names, and I'm not here to tell you that these names are right or wrong. All I'm saying is there is no difference in Kareem Hunt and Dalvin Cook. There's no difference in Kareem Hunt and Leonard Fournette. There really isn't. They're all the same to me. If anything, I think that the transition is probably actually a little bit easier for Kareem Hunt, who's coming in on a visit tomorrow, because he has some familiar. When he was here, Matt Nagy was the offensive coordinator, Andy Reid was the head coach, Patrick Mahomes was the quarterback, and Travis Kelce was here. There's a lot of, you're going to go into there and know some people. Oh, McCole, I remember playing with. You're going to come into a situation that you know, that feels familiar, that you are comfortable with. So I'm just going into a realistic expectations. I told you guys, I came into today prepared to tell you that the Chiefs should go get Damian Harris. This is the same option to me. There are no good options. Dalvin Cook is not a good option, who can't get on the field for the Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott is not a good option. All of these guys, it is over. Like, you can see a clear line in their career. When they went from being that guy to it being over, it's not that much different than what happened to Jamal Charles. Like, if there's any fan base that has seen this before, you've seen it with multiple running backs. You saw it with Larry Johnson. You saw it with Jamal Charles. You saw it with Priest Holmes. They were the guys, and then one day you woke up and they wasn't. That's kind of what happened to Jamal Charles. Jamal Charles had 206 carries for 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns. The next year, he had 71 carries for 364 yards, averaged 5.1 yards per carry. He got hurt. He was never the same again. He played in 17 more games and had less than 350 yards from scrimmage after that point. You knew when it was over with Jamal Charles. These other running backs are the same. It's over for Dalvin Cook. He ain't never going to be that guy again. It's over for Leonard Fournette. Michael Carr, all of these options, they're done.
There's a reason they are available right now. Not available like, hey, preseason just ended and they couldn't latch onto a roster. Not, hey, training camp's about to start and they didn't get the deal they wanted. Training camp has happened. Preseason has happened. Practice squad additions have happened. The NFL season has happened, and these guys are all watching games the same way me and you are. It's because most all of them are cooked, which is why before the Kareem Hunt news broke, I was proponent of go find a cheap, young, unproven guy in someone else's practice squad, try to figure it out up until the trade deadline. And on trade deadline day, we'll have more knowledge. You'll know about Pacheco's injury a little better. You'll know about if Carson Steele's the guy. You'll know if Pirine can run or if he's only a passing option. I was team cheap it up until you have to make a move. But the Chiefs clearly don't feel the way I do because they're bringing 1,000-year-old Kareem Hunt in for a visit.
Someone on the text line says, well, those other guys got hurt. Yeah, football happened.
Old guys get hurt.
Yeah, football happened. I mean, Kareem Hunt also was getting hurt. Yeah, like what are we doing here? Yeah, these guys are also getting hurt. That's just kind of what happens to running backs at this stage in their career. We kind of have this information. All right, Mitch Holthus is going to join us coming up in about 8 minutes or so. Let's have this conversation. We'll have a longer conversation. I think Mitchell Schwartz is going to join us sometime later in the week to talk about offensive line. There was a tweet yesterday from Jeff Schwartz that was talking about left tackle and why the Chiefs don't really help their left tackle. So I don't got to tell you guys, Kingsley Suamataia was over there getting a workout. Was getting a workout yesterday from Trey Hendrickson. So Marcus Spears, who's on ESPN, he tweeted out, I can't believe Andy is leaving the rookie by himself on Hendrickson. This is diabolical. Jeff Schwartz, who played offensive line for Andy Reid, and his brother also did, said, quote, they don't really help the offensive tackles in Kansas City. They want those receiving options in the route concept. The idea is beating the pass rush by getting the ball out sooner. You might disagree with it, but there are some things we kind of know about Andy Reid at this point. You know what Andy Reid isn't going to do too many times? Gamble on fourth downs. They're going to take the point. You can't go broke taking a profit. The Chiefs try to take a profit on every single drive. They also are not going to drastically change their offense to help this left tackle on the other side. So it is either sink or swim, young man. That's what it is. And he was sinking yesterday. So the Chiefs put in Wanya Morris. Now, I think Kingsley is going to get another opportunity to start on this team. But just because you won the job in August does not mean you still have the job in October. I would say them taking him out of the game has let you know that you are kind of on notice. You were a problem in this game, and you need to step up. So let's track how the next couple of weeks go. But you wanted a rookie left tackle. The rookie left tackle was out there getting beat by one of the more underrated pass rushers in the entire National Football League. And we kind of knew there weren't many points of weakness on this offense, and that was one of them, Rob. So it is something obviously to track. But yesterday is not that surprising. Rookie left tackle going up against a really experienced pass rusher.
I'm curious how this goes going forward. I'll say this, and something to monitor. Jeff Schwartz knows offensive line better than me, and like you said, I might reach out to Mitchell Schwartz. He also knows more offensive line than me. But the fact that Andy Reid at no point thought to himself, we have to adjust course a little bit and tweak and help that young man out is a little concerning to me because the Super Bowl the Chiefs lost to the Bucs, a lot of things went wrong. One of them was Andy Reid felt like we're going to do what we do. I don't care. It's Mike Rimmers out there up against, Jason Pierre-Paul. We do what we do. Didn't help that guy out, and they got smoked. Kingsley was getting cooked all day. He was a whopper, flame broiled. But you know what? They gave him no help.
No,
You've got to adjust at some point, and that's the thing for me. If it's Kingsley or Wanya and it's no help and it's a problem all year, then it falls on Andy, not the player.
They adjusted. They took him out. They certainly adjusted. You got replaced. You can't make more of an adjustment. We asked you to do this. You can't do it. Come stand next to me. Come stand next to me is how they adjusted. That's what they did. That was their fix. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to get the thoughts of the voice of the Kansas City Chiefs, Mitch Holthus. So much to talk about. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Northland 35 northbound pretty slow from 435 up towards Missouri 152. Heading into downtown 670 eastbound slows past the state line. Stays heavy over past 35. Checking that out on the Cordell and Cordell traffic camera. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan traffic.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
O'Reilly! Did you know 1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced? O'Reilly Auto Parts will test your battery for free in or out of your vehicle. We can help you find the best battery for your vehicle and budget. O'Reilly Auto Parts has batteries starting at just $79.99. Get your battery tested for free today at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Keep it twisted all year long with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Twisted Tea is real iced tea that packs a punch with 5% alcohol. Tastes great at the beach, the mountains, or even in your backyard. Look for the bright yellow Twisted Tea cans.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Pizza Tacio, the king of Kansas City's New York-style pizza scene, has taken KC by storm. Pizza Tacio uses the highest quality local and organic ingredients, hand-tossed by KC natives. Oh, and did I mention they were voted KC's favorite pizza? Place your order now for pickup or delivery at pizzatacio.com. Or stop in for a slice at any of their locations in OP, Midtown, North KC, St. Joe, Waldo, or Belton, and dive into the taste that's conquering Kansas City. One slice at a time.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Circa Resort and Casino when KC travels to Vegas. Calling all KC football fans to Vegas. Join us at Circa Resort and Casino this October as we huddle up at Overhang Bar, catching some of the game day action at the world's largest sportsbook or lounge at Stadium Swim. Book your experience today. Visit circalasvegas.com.
I'm Mitch Holthus, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. Choosing the best doctor for your eyes is one of the most important medical decisions you'll ever make. Whether you're considering blade-free LASIK, all laser cataract surgery, and premium lens implants, or want a world-renowned doctor to help with your glaucoma, macular degeneration, dry eyes, or diabetes, trust my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein. Call Silverstein Eye Centers to make an appointment, 816-358-3600. Experience the best eye care in Kansas City.
Hey friends, it's noisy out there with information coming at us all day, every day. It's hard to know what to trust, and the world of wealth management is no exception. That's why UMB Private Wealth Management helps you tune out the noise and tune into what matters most. They'll create a financial plan based on your unique goals, so it's your voice that comes through loud and clear. Get financial clarity. Go to umb.com/privatewealth to schedule an appointment. That's umb.com/privatewealth.
O'Reilly.
You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Guess what, people? Wendy's has new saucy nugs. You heard me. Wendy's nugs now come in 7 saucy flavors. Buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, spicy ghost pepper. You can literally hear your taste buds after every bite. I'm serious. Listen to mine. Okay, that's just me playing with sound effects, but you got the idea. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions.
Today's MVP, Joe Fallon's bedroom mini fridge. Sure, this pint-sized chiller's max capacity is 3 soda cans, but what it lacks in stature, it makes up in cooling strength. Each beverage a perfect 37 degrees every time. And the 2 feet Joe walks to get a drink, priceless. That's why his mini fridge is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custard. Visit eatandys.com to find the location nearest you. Top your day with a smile.
Let me tell you about my good friend Andy from Andy's Frozen Custard. He's from Kansas City, never misses a game, and serves the world's finest frozen custard. Tailgate with a pick 6, or grab a freshly made custom treat before or after a game. And tell him Mitch and Andy sent you.
Tune in to Vern's On Deck Show 1 hour before first pitch on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
We are very happy right now to be joined in studio by the voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. Mitch Holthus joins us after another Chiefs win. They moved to 2-0. There are only 5 teams in the AFC that have won their first 2 games of the season. My big point off the top of the show, and I do want to get your thoughts on the breaking news that the Chiefs are bringing in Kareem Hunt for a visit tomorrow. Let's talk about the game first, though. My big point is you follow this league. You're in the middle of this league. You don't apologize for how you win, especially when yesterday everybody liked Dallas. Dallas got blown out at home by New Orleans. Baltimore last year hosted the AFC Championship game. They're 0-2 to start the season and just lost the game on an extended break against the Las Vegas Raiders. Everybody loves San Francisco. They lost yesterday. Detroit's one of the 5 best teams in the league. They lost. You don't apologize for how you win. Did the Chiefs play an A game? No, I think everyone would agree. But you know what? All that matters at the end is you got an important tiebreaker that you could need later in the year against a team that could win their division, and you survive in advance and create more distance between the Ravens, the Bengals, and yourself. That's all that ultimately matters.
There's only been 3 teams that have played in the AFC Championship game since the beginning of the 2021 season, and the 3 teams are the 2 teams the Chiefs have played and the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are 2-0. To me, it's a sign of actual strength when you can win games different ways. And it started last year, because one of my favorite stats was last year the Chiefs win 11 regular season games. They go on the run and win 4 postseason games. 8 of those 15 wins, C-Dot, Patrick Mahomes was under his career passing average. So we all know last year they used different ways to win, and they've proven it here in the first 2 weeks. If you're solid, if not good, in all 3 phases in the National Football League, it shows up because you can win games different ways. And when special teams is outstanding, and then where defense digs in and makes impact plays, Patrick Mahomes is anybody gonna be surprised if he doesn't throw for 4,000 again or 4,500? It's gonna happen. And they still have had big plays. They've had a 35-yard touchdown, a 44-yard touchdown in 2 consecutive weeks against 2 good defenses. And yet, you're able to get a scoop and score. The special teams, you get a 63-yard punt from Ariza. You get a 51-yard field goal from Butker. You pin them back on a kickoff. So if you're good in all 3 phases and can win in all 3 phases, that's been proven time and time again. That is the best way to win in the National Football League. Teams that are too skewed in one of those 3 areas won't have enough juice to win it in this day and age.
Yeah, and at least for me, and I do want to get your thoughts on the defensive pass interference that gave the Chiefs a first down and then put them in a position to kick the game-winning field goal, is if the Chiefs are going to play a C- game, if you're Cincinnati, you got to figure out a way to take advantage. And even despite, I thought, outplaying Kansas City for most of the afternoon, you gave the ball to Patrick Mahomes down 2 with the chance to win, then you didn't do enough over the course of the first 57 minutes of the game. If now it comes down to you got to get 1 stop against that guy. He doesn't have to get a touchdown against you. He simply has to get his team into field goal range. You're just going to lose that game 80% of the time. That if you're Cincinnati, you really got to be kicking yourself. You outgained Kansas City. You held Patrick Mahomes to less than 175 yards passing, 2 interceptions. You won the turnover differential. You won the time of possession. All the things that you would say boxes you needed to check to win a football game on the road at Arrowhead, you did those things, except the most important one. You didn't score more points than Kansas City.
You missed a PAT.
Yeah.
What was the margin in the game?
1 point.
Okay. You have a knucklehead and sportsmanlike conduct penalty from your guy Jamar Chase, who gets a 15-yard, takes them out of that drive. They're going to have third down in a makeable distance. If they get that first down, at the least they're going to get 3 and use up a whole bunch of time. So that 15-yard penalty is gigantic. The missed PAT is gigantic. You give them an A-gap blitz sack because Shamari Connor was outstanding, but that's an A-gap blitz. So if you're Cincinnati and you're Zach Taylor, you're not looking at this of going, wow, we had that DPI call at the end. In fact, and again, so this goes back to the point of rookies struggling yesterday. The week 1 to week 2 thesis, which I had last week, I'm going to mention it to you on this segment, is a very real thing. I mean, it's only my 31st year in the league, and I've seen this over and over and over again. But here's a key point. Who made the penalty? The 7th DB on their roster. They got 7 DBs out there playing picket fence. I said it on the play-by-play. They're playing picket fence defense right at the first down marker, which is where they ought to be. But if you're going to put all those DBs on the field, you're going down to your lowest DB that you have active. Now, check your snap count. See how many snaps that kid played yesterday. And he ends up being the guy that commits the DPI, which is a clear DPI. So you can't sit there and go, wow, this is all a bad call. There's a lot of things to be considered here if you're the Bengals and you're scratching your head.
The thing that I guess is confusing to me about this controversy regarding the defensive pass interference is there are some ticky-tack calls that happen in the game. There are some bang-bang plays that happen in the game. There are some 50-50 calls that sometimes you wish the referee swallowed their whistle. This is the most obvious pass interference that I've ever seen. Like, I don't even understand the argument on the other side. I get in the Super Bowl why you maybe don't want that call. Not a whole lot of holding on the James Bradbury play. I can even understand how you could argue, hey, this is the spot you should swallow your whistle. We don't want the Super Bowl decided by this. He tackles the offensive player probably a full 2 seconds prior to the ball getting there. If that's not pass interference, what are we doing now?
It's a rookie. He's the 7th DB on their roster. And he's the guy that it wasn't Von Bell committing the penalty, and it wasn't Geno Stone. It wasn't even Cam Taylor-Britt. It was that dude. And what was he out there, 5 or 6 snaps? And he commits the penalty. Is that like a shock to anybody? So, yeah, I mean, and then I guess we overlooked the fact that the Chiefs lost 82 yards in 2 penalties. They have a 31-yard penalty and a 51-yard penalty late in the game, which almost equals 100 yards in that span as well. It was critical. So there's 1,000 ways to look at this game. I look at it in the fact that the Chiefs have 100 ways to beat you. And this defense, that's such a big play. Turk Wharton, I've not talked enough about him. I've tried to, and it's still not enough. He had an awesome spring. He had a great training camp. He's had 2 really good games. Mike Dana might be the most underrated guy in the AFC, if not the NFL. And Shamari Connor's coming on. I talked with Andy Reid tonight on the Kingdom Show about his growth specifically in coverage, as a tackler, as a blitzer. It's an art form. We have got Picasso of DB blitzers tonight on the show on Trent McDuffie. And we're going to dive into that. What it takes if you're a DB, especially in Spags' system, not to give it away. You can't tip your hand because Joe Burrow didn't see it coming. And so Shamari Connor in his second year to learn how to do that and yet come like a missile and be there in a nanosecond is gigantic. That's a skill set. That's not some luck. And he didn't tip his hand. And so these DBs for the Chiefs were willing to tackle if you're a corner, cover if you're a safety, but all of them can blitz. But to blitz without giving it away is something that's a very, very underrated thing in the NFL.
Right now, we're talking to Mitch Holthus, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. Yogi Berra has the stat that baseball is 90% mental and the other part of it is physical. I imagine football is the exact same way. They had a mental advantage over Jamar Chase yesterday, and he was getting frustrated that he was getting locked up for the most part. And when he finally got the ball and finally made a play, he completely overreacted. Number one, that's not a hip drop tackle. So I was confused why he got up and was so angry about it. And then if you go back and watch it, he starts to argue with the official originally. The official was not going to throw a flag. Jamar Chase kind of walks away. He then comes back to keep arguing with them, and that's when Joe Burrow kind of gets in the middle, because we all know where this is headed. This is the final 5 minutes of the game. It's a one-score game. We can't afford to get a 15-yard penalty here. He then gets the penalty. He's still arguing with Zach Taylor on the sideline. The Chiefs had a mental advantage yesterday over Jamar Chase, and that's a big reason on how they lost the game in the final 10 minutes of it.
I'm not sure they don't have that mental advantage and didn't have it over the Ravens, because I feel like that's the way you're playing not only the Chiefs, you're playing your anger or your angst against the Chiefs. And if you're an opponent of a team, you want to be in that spot. Like the Chiefs, they just put pressure on these teams. So, and in case of Jamar Chase, I mean, what's he doing? Okay, he holds in, wants to be the highest. He wants more than Jefferson. These guys that have him play guard for 2 months. I just have him play guard for 2 weeks. Take Alex Karras' job at center, and then call me back. Like, come on, man. And you hurt your team yesterday. That's where I think Burrow intervened. I like Zach Taylor. I like his family. That's a great family. I was at Butler County. I was at Butler Community College last Thursday night with the Grizzly football team, and Zach won a national championship there and one of their 6 national JUCO titles. But to me, Zach's got to get a handle on this. Like, you just hurt us yesterday. Goes what I said 3 paragraphs ago. If he doesn't get that penalty, I think it's 3rd and 7, a makeable first down. They can run time, if nothing else, and still get the field goal. And there may not be enough time left to go down and get Butker's field goal. So when it's costing your team, you've got to look at a net gain here. What are we gaining versus what are we losing? And the Bengals now have a lot of questions to answer, specifically with him.
Let's talk about some of the issues from yesterday. Left tackle position, Kingsley Suamataia. What were you seeing? How confident are you? Not in his ability to turn things around, but you are a young player. The Chiefs have shown, hey, we will pull you from this scenario. Just because you won this job in August doesn't mean you will have that job in October. If things continue how they played in week 2, you could certainly see the Chiefs making a change at some point. What did you see from him yesterday?
Sam Hendrickson's the most underrated edge player in this league. We talk about the Boses, right? We talk about Von Miller. We talk about all these should talk about Danielle Hunter. He's awesome. He's killing it right now. But we don't talk about Sam Hendrickson enough. Now, Matt McMullen and I talked about him all week long. New Orleans, he was a game wrecker when we played him against the Saints. I think he's the guy that hurt CEH, I think, in fact, if I'm not mistaken. But the guy is so good, and he had every trick in the book thrown at Kingsley. Inside move, outside move, twists, fake you inside, all of it. And so Kingsley goes back to my week 1, week 2 thesis. Week 1, hey, I'm in this. I think same thing with Carson Steele's fumble. Same thing with Xavier Worthy. He was getting pushed around yesterday. And you go through all 4 of the rookies. Jared Wiley the same way on offense. But I think the kingdom has to be a little bit patient here with Kingsley Suamataia. This is a very big week for him. If the Chiefs decide to go with Wanya Morris there, fine. Continue to learn and grow, because I think his upside, Kingsley Suamataia's upside, is a very high ceiling. Saw it enough in training camp. Saw what he did even in week 1. But I think he's going up against the most underrated edge rusher last week. Now, Atlanta's also got some dudes. You'll see him tonight. But Hendrickson just said, I've got a rook. I'm going after him. And that was a baptism of fire for Kingsley.
I would be surprised if Wanya started if Kingsley's healthy. I mean, we see this all the time. Oddly enough, Kareem Hunt, you remember his first carry in the NFL, he fumbles. Carson Steele had a fumble yesterday. He's still really good about giving rookies opportunities to kind of make up for a mistake. I don't think one bad game kind of gets him sat down, but I do think it's something to monitor. We kind of looked at this team in position groups, and I think the cornerback room, it's been answered. Like, Jalen Watson is their number 2 corner, and I think has played like it. That left tackle job, we thought it was going to be a competition. It ended up not being one. Maybe it's a little bit more of a competition than we thought, that this isn't a week 3 change, but it could be a week 7, week 8 change.
Yeah, and I wouldn't overreact to it, although because of the Hendrickson factor. And it's not something you want to – and it's on Kingsley to handle it this psychologically and mentally. I mean, you don't want to wreck the dude, because I mentioned he's got a lot of ceiling. But that'll be something they'll monitor throughout the week. Plus, you may see what they did yesterday where they're both playing, because there's some unbalanced line in this offense, much like Cincinnati was doing yesterday. It's not on the realm of possibility that you could have both of those guys in there at once. And then depending on what happens, you bring Kingsley back and bring him along slowly, or, Wanye tears it up and wins that job back. But I would be careful for the Kingdom to overreact on Kingsley Suamataia, because I think he has a very, very bright future.
Right now, we're talking to Mitch Holthus, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs, going through yesterday's win against the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's get to the run game. Let's just start with this before we get to the Kareem Hunt part of this. How big of an injury is this to Isaiah Pacheco? I mean, down the stretch for this team last season, they had 3 offensive weapons that you could really count on and rely on: Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce, and Isaiah Pacheco. I don't want to say he's the heart and soul of the team. That's obviously Mahomes and Kelce. But when this team needs the tough yards, and sometimes when their offense stalls, who normally gets them out of it, it's an 8-yard run from Isaiah Pacheco that he knocks a guy down and he gets up and he plays with so much energy and fire that it kind of galvanizes the offense. How big of a loss is this for the team over the course of the next 6 to 8 weeks to not have one of their most important players?
No, it's a gut punch, because he was also coming on as a pass receiver. He was really starting to get a knack. People, grimace about the check down throws. Those are necessary many times, but it's what you can do with those check down throws. Let's go back when you're talking about definition of rooms. You talked about the DB room or the cornerback room. I was really excited about how the running back room had come together with Pacheco and then Carson Steele's emergence and getting Samaje Perine. I went off on that. I did a whole minute with Mitch on it last week. I do a thing on Channel 41 every week and on the Chiefs Radio Network, and I focused completely on Samaje Perine and how big that pickup was. Now it looks even bigger. But if that's Kareem Hunt or whomever, there's got to be a third piece to that puzzle. And that's where the blow is, because that room was really coming together. I talked to Coach Pinkston about it last week. But now you've got to figure something out, not to replace necessarily apples for pop, but you've got to have some piece of fruit in there. There's got to be a third dude, at least, and it's better if it could be a power guy, because Perine's going to be, you'd like to keep him in that third down back role and let him stay right there, and then you don't want to put too much on Carson Steele too soon, go back to the Suamataia discussion. So, this is going to be big on what they do and how they get it back. I feel bad for Isaiah. One, he's a good dude. 2, he's ascending as a player. He's not leveled out. And the fact that this is a setback for him. And these where that ankle connects, it's called a fibula injury, right? It's that main bone. And every player's different. You can't sit here and predict when a guy's going to come back, because everybody's physiology is different. But you hope it's sooner than later for Pacheco so that he can keep his psychological edge.
Right now, we're talking to Mitch Holthus, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. I think there's kind of 2 parts of the Kareem Hunt conversation. Number one is the off-the-field part of it, that I don't know if us outside the building are kind of qualified to have this conversation. At some point tomorrow, he is going to sit down with Andy Reid, Brett Veach, and Clark Hunt about what happened that got him off of the team and how has he changed. So I can't speak to that. I don't know Kareem Hunt personally. Like, those are things that need to be discussed by the Chiefs front office and if they like the answer that they give. I do believe in second chances. You made a mistake. You should get the opportunity to atone for that over time if you change, right? So only they can determine that. From the player's standpoint of it, I'm looking at a guy over the last 2 years that I just want to be realistic about what he's going to come back and do. It's not 2018 anymore. He's a completely different running back for this team. So what kind of production can you expect? I'm with you. They need one other running back on this team, and it's probably not going to be Jerick McKinnon because they already kind of have that player. So they need a veteran that has some experience that you think can get 6 to 8 carries a game. And I think there's 5 or 6 different options that are out there. So you get Boston Scott, you go get Damian Harris, you go get Murray, Latavius Murray. There's a handful of options. To me, they're all the same, that it makes sense to me why you would go get Kareem Hunt on the surface. He knows the system, knows the building. He is a very easy fit for week 3 to plug somebody in and help you Sunday against Atlanta.
We all ask for forgiveness. All of us have. It's the essence of faith. If you look at 1 John 1:9, that's what it is. But there can only be forgiveness if there's repentance, right? So, and that means not a reoccurring theme of whatever was being done. that you're asking for repentance for. But all of everybody out there listening, man, I screwed up. Can you forgive me about this? We've done that. All of us have. So in this instance, it goes back to what you said. It's really for outside the building. We really can't sit here and really have an opinion on it other than all of us ask for forgiveness. All right. So that's between Coach and Kareem. And you know how repentant is Kareem here. And what does he have as a football player in 2024? We know what he was like in 17, 18, a little bit of 19. But to your point, you don't need a 1,200-yard rusher. You need whomever's going to get those 6 to 8 carries a game to get 4 to 6 yards a carry and to be enough of a threat when they're out there to catch a check down pass when teams are taking everything away, but I still got a check down. I make you miss a tackle. Now I get 8 yards to 12 yards on that check down. That's why Samaje Perine, I think when he gets up and running, will be gigantic. Here's the stats that I spewed out on the on the Minute with Mitch last week, was the fact that he has 115 catches in 3 years. And of those 115 catches, 46 for first downs on 3rd and 3 or more. Samaje Perine gets a first down 77% of the time. That means a lot of those are breaking tackles. So if Kareem Hunt can catch a check down like Pacheco was doing and break a tackle, now all of a sudden that's a 12-yard gain. That's a first down or more. So you're not asking the guy to reinvent the wheel. You're just asking him to be a piece in that room, and he doesn't have to be Isaiah Pacheco, just something that can be complementary to the offense.
So tonight, I know that there's so much star power on this team, everybody can't get all the credit that they deserve, right? You got one of the best defensive players in the league in Chris Jones. You got maybe the most famous woman in the world following the team around. Travis Kelce's a bona fide superstar. The quarterback is maybe the most popular American athlete. Tonight on the Chiefs Kingdom show, you could have the best young corner in the NFL on your show. Obviously, Sauce Gardner's in that conversation. Patrick Surtain II is in that conversation. And if you are not including Trent McDuffie, the only thing that's really missing is the interception numbers. If he had the interception numbers, he would be talked about like those first two guys.
And I think it's going to come in bunches. He's going to get the first one, and then he's going to get like 6. That just feels like that to me. But his play yesterday against Jamar Chase, Next Gen Stats has it out there. I think when he was the closest defender, I think Chase got 1 catch for 4 yards. Now I'm going to ask him. I can't ask him specifically about the DPI. I might ask him globally. Here, listen tonight, because I'll talk about this is one of the most missed calls. We talk about calls. Is the offensive player engaged, pulls on the defensive player and pulls him down? Well, in real time, many times, whether it's a back judge, side judge, sees it from the back of the play, and they see the contact and 2 players going down. I mean, it's a wily move by a receiver to do it, but it happens all the time. They're pulling the DB down, and the DB gets called for DPI. So other than that, McDuffie was brilliant yesterday, and all of the routes, C-Dot, that he had to cover. He covers a crosser. He covers the slant in the end zone. He covers a pivot route in the red zone. He covers a splatter play in the end zone where we're running around, and Chase is running around like trying to get open in an NBA game, and McDuffie's on him all over the place. McDuffie, you're right. The interception numbers probably take away from him if somebody's looking at him just on a spreadsheet. But if you watch video, he's every bit Sauce Gardner and Patrick Surtain II. He's right in line with those guys in the same discussion.
That is Mitch Holthus, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs, joining us on the show today. Be sure to check out the Chiefs Kingdom show later today. Trent McDuffie is going to be on the show, and also head coach Andy Reid. We'll step aside here. We'll come back on the other side. It's not just that the Chiefs have the scoreboard advantage over Cincinnati. They have the mental advantage. We'll explain. Keep it right here. So drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Everyone knows the highest quality siding you can put on your home is James Hardie Siding. It carries a 30-year warranty on the siding, a 15-year warranty on the paint. It will not burn. Termites won't eat it, since fiber cement isn't on their menu. And it'll stand up like no other siding to the brutal weather we have here in the Midwest. So, who do you call to install Hardie Siding on your home? Thermo King, that's who. With over 20 years installing siding and thousands of satisfied customers, Thermo King's highly trained, highly skilled crews have the expertise to seal up your home tighter than Fort Knox and do it right the first time. Right now, save up to $2,500 on a whole home of siding. Replace your windows or entry door and save even more. Don't leave your new siding to chance. Call the experts at Thermo King. 888-KING-WIN or online at thermokingwindows.com.
What a great NFL weekend, and you have yet another chance to start the season with a big return from our friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet on tonight's game. You can build a same-game parlay. I'm betting against Kirk Cousins on Monday Night Football, so I'm taking the Eagles. I'm going to take Saquon Barkley for an anytime touchdown, and also Jalen Hurts, a little tush-push action. You can place this same-game parlay or whatever parlay you would like. All you need to do is visit FanDuel.com/CDOT. Use my promo code to make every moment more this season. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets which expires 7 days after restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Can help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done, well under budget. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Vanguard is 100% client-owned, serving over 50 million investors every day. Whether you're planning for retirement, putting your kids through college, or saving up for your next adventure, Vanguard can help you set personalized investment goals. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Copyright 2024, The Vanguard Group, Inc. All rights reserved. Vanguard Marketing Corporation Distributor.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is again ranked #1 in the nation for cancer care by U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals rankings. Our physicians treat more types of cancers in a day than many see in their whole career. This unmatched depth of expertise, combined with our groundbreaking discoveries, gives our patients access to the most innovative treatment options. Learn more at mdanderson.org.
Hi, Toby Tobin, along with Jason Goodenkoff from Lewisburg Ford, Lewisburg, Kansas. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
What's going on at Lewisburg Ford?
Well, guess what? We're still selling everything for $50 over factory invoice, just like we have since 1979, Toby. We save people so much money and a lot of headaches that they don't have to get other places by arm wrestling with people trying to negotiate prices. We're saving everybody in Kansas City a whole lot of money, Toby.
Yes, you are. What are the savings now?
We've got F-150, Toby. 2024 F-150s, you can get up to $13,500 off and 1.9% financing for 36 months or 3.9% financing for 66 months.
Now that is great.
It's a huge savings and great rebates and incentives with the financing.
You know what?
What's that?
I think I'm going to get a truck.
It's about time. We convinced you finally.
Yeah. F-150, more sold in the greater Kansas City area, 7 years in a row.
The biggest F-150 dealer for 7 years in a row and the biggest in the state of Kansas 3 years in a row.
What is your toll-free number?
816-444-2300.
Lewisburg Ford, Lewisburg, Kansas.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Buying a home is one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. Before you tour a home, the real estate professional you're working with may ask you to sign a buyer's agreement, which describes the services you'll receive, each party's role and responsibilities, and how your agent will be compensated, all of which you'll want to discuss with them up front. So work with an agent who's a Realtor. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors with a duty to honestly represent you and put your interests above their own, because that's who we are.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
35 northbound heading into downtown. You hit slowdowns around Cambridge Circle, and it's pretty heavy up towards about 25th Street. It picks up and moves a little better past that with an earlier problem as we checked that out on the Cordell and Cordell traffic cameras. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Chiefs fans, it's Nick Bolton, MIZ. Welcome to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
I don't mind the trash talking from Cincinnati. It's fun. It is enjoyable. But it feels at times to me that Jamar Chase has taken on this sort of character of hatred for the Chiefs and doesn't know how to channel it properly. Let me explain. This was a tightly contested ball game for all 60 minutes. No team really had an advantage. It is a 23-22 game after the fumble score for the Chiefs. Cincinnati then gets the ball back. It is the start of the fourth quarter. They are putting a drive together. You know that there's a limited amount of possessions left in this game. There were only 4 more possessions left in this game. This possession really, really matters. It is 10:42 left in the fourth quarter, and Joe Burrow completes a pass to Jamar Chase. It is 2nd and 11. It is a 4-yard completion. Now, I am watching this. I imagine you are watching this. Some of you are at the game. This seemed like the most routine tackle ever. It was not a horse collar. It was not a hip drop. It was a regular run-of-the-mill tackle. Jamar Chase then gets up and is really upset. At first, I thought maybe I had missed a face mask penalty. Well, that wasn't it. The official then gives Jamar Chase a little bit of leeway. Jamar Chase gets up and starts arguing with the official. The official is not going to penalize him. It's then over. You had your 5 seconds to argue with the official. Let's get back to the huddle. Let's play football. He then continues to argue with the official. There, your superstar quarterback, who has known Jamar Chase since they were in college, goes up to him and is clearly trying to tell him, calm down, calm down. Kind of like if you and your friend go out to a bar and he's getting real mouthy with the bouncer and you're, hey, calm down. I don't want something to escalate here, and I don't want us to get kicked out. He's doing everything in his power to stop Jamar Chase from getting a penalty. He keeps going and keeps going and keeps going, and they eventually throw a penalty. That is the difference in it being 3rd and 7 from the Kansas City 34-yard line, or I guess 30-yard line, or 3rd and 22 from the Kansas City 45. Cincinnati then kicks a field goal on that drive. It is the last time that they score in the game. So Bengals fans can get all up in arms about the officiating, and this is why we lost, and you guys always get the calls. Cincinnati did a lot yesterday to contribute to their own demise yesterday. Cincinnati had the ball. They were up 25-23 with 6 minutes left in the game. Go win the game. You got a top 5 quarterback, former Heisman Trophy winner. Your star wide receiver is playing. You have played really well offensively today, all things considered. You got the ball with 7 minutes left. If you go score a touchdown at the end of this game, there ain't nothing to discuss. You win. That was your chance to go win the game. You want to know how many yards they got on that drive? They started that drive 1st and 10 from the Cincinnati 16. You want to know how far they got? They got 17 yards and they punted. They got 17 yards. Shockingly enough, they gave up a sack on that drive. It was 3rd and 6. You convert this. Convert this. It was 3rd and 6 from the Cincinnati 42 with 3:27 left. If you get a first down on that play, Rob, how much time can you cut off the clock? Another 2:30? Another 2:45? Cincinnati, you had chances to win this game. You squandered them. It's mental at some point. If you give the Chiefs room, just a little bit of life on that life bar, they are going to beat you. You got to be thinking fatality. You got to be thinking uppercut, knock them into the spikes. Too many times, whether it's been Buffalo or Cincinnati or Baltimore, you play with your food. You had opportunities to beat Kansas City yesterday. Your star wide receiver got an unnecessary penalty. And then when your coach tried to correct you on the sideline, you kept arguing with the coach. Bro, you wrong. You had the ball with the 25-23 lead with less than 8 minutes to go on the road. Put a drive together. At a minimum, go get a field goal and force Kansas City to score a touchdown at the end. We all knew what was going to happen when Kansas City only had to get a field goal to go win that game. I didn't care how long the field goal was. You knew Harrison Butker was going to make it and you were going to lose. I refuse to let any Cincinnati Bengals fan, player, anybody associated with the team tell me it was the officiating while they lost yesterday. No. You had opportunities to go win that game and you squandered it. So you can call into the post-game show like this.
And I know referees normally don't win or lose games for you, but in crucial plays today, the calls all went against the Bengals. And I can go back to the Super Bowl last year with the 49ers. It was awful. I can go back to the AFC playoff game. It was horrible. It just seems to me that when other teams play the Chiefs, the referees are always part of the outcome.
You had opportunities to go win. I want you guys to remember this quote. Complaining about the officiating is the free space and loser bingo. That's what the Cincinnati Bengals are. They are losers. They have been losers our entire life. They were losers with Boomer Esiason. They were losers with Carson Palmer. They were losers with John Kitna. They have been losers with Joe Burrow. Ever since they said Burrowhead, they are 9-11. They are 0-2 to start this season. They were better at times last year with Jake Browning as their starting quarterback than they were with Joe Burrow. They are losers. Don't spend your time, don't spend your energy arguing with the fan base that has never experienced happiness. That's all I caution you guys in doing. Because I'm telling you guys, this fan base, the one I'm about to play this cut from, they are losers.
One point I want to bring up that nobody's bringing up, and yes, DJ Anthony was there a tad early, but if you really stop and look at the play, if you go back and look at it, our defensive lineman was being held by the Kansas City Chiefs left tackle.
Yep.
It should have been offsetting penalties, and we would probably win the game. Nobody's bringing it up. I've got it on freeze frame, and he's clearly being held. And, I mean, if you go back and watch it, you'll see it. You'll see it plain as day.
Yeah, I've seen that replay on it. You're right.
All game.
If complaining about the officiating is a free space, holding call, it's also on the bingo board. It's what losers do. It's that simple. The hardest thing to do in life is to blame yourself. I didn't get that job because I'm not good enough. I'm not qualified to get this job. I didn't do good enough in school. That's why they didn't hire me. That girl's not interested in me because I'm really not that cute. I don't make enough money to be with somebody like her. The hardest thing in life to do is to blame yourself for the position that you're in. The hardest thing fans can do is to be real with themselves about their team and why Kansas City continues to be better than you. You know who wouldn't have got that penalty? The Chiefs. The Chiefs wouldn't have got that penalty. You know what the Chiefs would have done if it was 25-23 with a chance? They would have scored. They might not have scored a touchdown. They would have forced you to go get a touchdown on that drive, though. They would have went down the field. They would have got a field goal. Cincinnati had opportunities, plenty of opportunities to win that game in the second half. And what bothers them the most is they know that. They won the turnover differential. Patrick Mahomes played one of his worst games at Arrowhead. They won the time of possession. They were the better team for 58 minutes, except the part that really matters. And that burns them up inside. That once again, they find themselves at 0-2, and they got to dig themselves out of a hole to maybe make the postseason. This is the same. They are the problems and the root cause of all of the problems that they have in Cincinnati. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll get to the top story. The Chiefs are bringing in Kareem Hunt for a visit. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5. The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's also what a lot of us lack in our basement or garage. By switching to a Navien tankless water heater, not only will you have all the hot water you need whenever you need it, but you'll gain storage area as well. Maybe a place to display your space collectibles. Highly logical. Learn about Navien's series of high-efficiency tankless water heaters and how they don't just save space, but save dollars on your utility bills too. For more, go to tanklessmadesimple.com.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here with the Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Please gamble responsibly.
Week 2 of pro football wraps up tonight. Monday Night Football in Philadelphia with Philly, a 5.5-point home favorite against Atlanta. Total in the game is 46. Now, in case you missed it, Philly's #1 wide receiver ruled out for this game with a hamstring injury. That's why we've seen some betting action come in on Atlanta. Now, we don't know how good Atlanta's quarterback is going to look second game coming off a torn Achilles, so I don't want to bet the side or total pregame. Instead, I want to look at Atlanta starting running back over 64.5 rushing yards after Green Bay went for over 5 yards a carry last week against Philadelphia.
That's it for this Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Always better with a roof from JR.
We've had more than our fair share of hail and wind this year. Are you playing Roofer Roulette? That's when you bet your roof and your home on the first random roofer to ring your doorbell. Why do that when JR and Company offers a free hail and wind report online at jrstormcheck.com? Just plug in your address and we'll pull a multi-year storm report. You'll know exactly what your roof has been put through and if you even need an inspection. If you do, no one is more thorough and works better with your insurance than locally owned, veteran-owned JR and Company. And if you need a new roof, remember, a roof from JR comes with a lifetime warranty on workmanship. Don't play Roofer Roulette with your home. Visit jrstormcheck.com and remember,
You're always better with a roof from JR.
Visit jrstormcheck.com.
It's the best time of the year. It's tailgate season, and I'm going to be spending a lot of time at Hy-Vee's Wine and Spirits department. This week is the perfect time to stock up and save on wine, beer, seltzer, and spirits during Hy-Vee's Thirsty Thursday sale. This Thursday only, get a 50-cent Fuel Saver discount for every $50 you spend on beer, wine, hard seltzer, and spirits. I love seeing the price at the pump go down when I use my Fuel Saver card. Don't miss Thirsty Thursdays only at Hy-Vee. Offer valid at Kansas City area Missouri stores only.
Score big savings with Hy-Vee and the Kansas City Chiefs. Big points mean even bigger savings. Just shop Hy-Vee the day after a game and earn a Fuel Saver discount equal to the Chiefs' score and based on the amount you spend. If the Chiefs score 42 points, you save 42 cents a gallon with any $42 purchase. The more we score, the more you save. Win or lose, everyone scores the day after a Chiefs game only at Hy-Vee. Offer good in store and online. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
When something happens to your kitchen, you might say,
"This is ludicrous."
but that won't fix your home. That will only get you the rapper, Ludacris.
Having trouble? Don't panic. Don't be alarmed. You need to file a claim? Holla at State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
That's right. You can file a claim on the app or call us.
Thanks, Mr. Chris.
No matter how ludicrous the situation, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
Hi, welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples can print everything for my business.
Sure can.
And the quality is guaranteed?
Absolutely.
Plus, you'll beat any price quote. Is that right?
For sure.
How about this one?
We'll beat it.
Can you print menus, signs, and flyers?
Sure can.
How about blueprints?
No problem.
What about red prints.
Not a real thing.
What if they were?
We'd print them, and they'd look amazing.
Now at Staples, print more, save more. Up to $150 off your print purchase. Ends 11/2. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details and staples.com/price match for in-store price match guarantee.
O'Reilly.
You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Guess what, people? Wendy's has new saucy nugs. You heard me. Wendy's nugs now come in 7 saucy flavors. Buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, spicy ghost pepper. You can literally hear your taste buds after every bite. I'm serious. Listen to mine. Okay, that's just me playing with sound effects, but you got the idea. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's.
Brought to you by Indeed.
Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all year round. Schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from your Indeed dashboard. Learn more by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
35 northbound heading into downtown. You hit slowdowns around Cambridge Circle, and it's pretty heavy up towards about 25th Street. It picks up and moves a little better past that with an earlier problem as we checked that out on the Cordell and Cordell traffic cameras. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan traffic.
Patrick Mahomes joins CDOT every week during the season, right here on 96.5 The Fan.
Okay. There are some things that I'd like to talk about. Some of these things we're going to get to tomorrow. But I just want to ask you guys a question. And this question is coming from an honest place. 913-586-7965. You guys are free to let me know. Is this show qualified to have the Travis Kelce conversation? Because last year when we tried to have the Travis Kelce conversation, you guys were not very responsive to my observations on Travis Kelce. Now, so far through the first 2 games, I'm not going to read his stats. I'm not going to read it because I don't want you guys to think I am implying what I kind of am implying. But I just want to know if that's something that you guys are interested in. Because if you are, I can write it down and we can come back tomorrow and we can have that conversation. Because last year I tried to have a conversation about Travis Kelce and how much gas he had left in the tank, and you guys very resoundingly told me to shut up. Very resoundingly. So I just want to know if that's a conversation that we can have. And maybe you're saying, shut up, we don't want you to talk about it. We don't care. That's fine too. I just want to know one way or the other. The other thing that I would like to talk about, and this is maybe a little bit more pressing, what is it like to watch your college football team lose in 2024? Because that's not something I can identify with. Like, you know, on this show, we talk all the time about things that I don't have experience with. Like, I've never gone hunting before. I've never caught a fish before. I've never gone camping before. That feels like gentrified homelessness to me. Why would I want to go sleep outside? You're telling me I pay all this money on rent so I can leave the great environment that I've created. Man, I got a couch. I got the PlayStation 5 there, the TV. It's great. Why would I want to leave that place to now go sleep outside? Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I also can't imagine. You've been waiting for college football for months. You went out, you bought the video game. You got the $100 version of the video game. You bought tickets to go watch them play at a stadium that's not their traditional stadium. And they only got one win? But it's week 3. You're supposed to be winning these games, right? These are non-conference games. That's why you schedule these games, right? So you can get a win. You can build your resume to go to bowl games and compete and do all those things. You're losing these games? That's wild to me. I didn't even know that was possible. Because my team, that's not what they're doing. K-State, you guys, that's not what your team is doing, right? Your team's winning these games. You played Arizona. You guys won 31-7. Great win for you guys. Nebraska, you guys, you're not losing these games. Iowa State, you're not losing these games. Oklahoma State, you got all the schools in this region are winning, except one. I just want to know what it's like to just you sit there and y'all didn't win? That's crazy to me. It's mind-blowing to me. I don't really know what to expect. I don't know. Rob, is this something you can identify with? Is this a feeling that you've had so far this year? Because I haven't seen my team lose, so I don't know what that's like.
I feel like now is a really good time to point out Avery Johnson will be on the show this week.
Oh, okay, yeah, good, because we only want winners on this show. Because it's crazy, though, because this is why I was thinking about it. We have a rule that if your college football team wins, we have somebody on. We've had Missouri players on the show. We're having the K-State quarterback on the show. There's another school here locally. Somehow we haven't been able to book any guests from that school because, well, you know.
They boldly decided to not have a quarterback this year.
No, it was bold. They got one.
Bold and daring, but they tried something new. Just have no one under center. Let's see what happens.
Okay. My bad. I'm asking questions. I'm asking because I don't understand. I don't know what's happening. All I do know is this is all I do know. This is all I know. KU is about one more loss away from all of us getting a history lesson. You guys know the history lesson I'm talking about. Once you get KU fan rattled, all they can do is tell you how good they are at basketball. Bro, they ain't even started practicing yet. Why are you talking to me about Hunter Dickinson? Why are we having conversations about KJ Adams? Why are we doing this? KU is one more loss away from a history lesson that none of us wanted. Well, we won the Big 12. Bro, that ain't got nothing to do. It's September. Why are we talking college basketball right now? Why is this even coming up? We are one more Jalen Daniels interception away from us having to hear how great they are. It's bad, bro. It's just bad. I'm sorry.
So we're not.
It's embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be embarrassed to cheer for that school right now. I really would be embarrassed right now. Y'all really thought this year was gonna be different. You were convinced. But I will say this, if there's one thing you guys know, it is disregarding your college football team in September. That's something you guys got great. You got a decade's worth of practice. The rest of us are enjoying falls and putting on our North Face and drinking coffee and going to the games. And you guys are on Rivals looking up basketball recruits. That's something you guys know very well about September. So this is your normal habitat. This is familiar territory. You guys are like the Bengals. You guys just went back to being the Bengals. Salute to you guys. I don't got any more on that team.
You don't want to talk about the Champions Classic, which will be a great, this year.
I'm sure.
I don't know if you've heard, but North Carolina is coming to Allen this year. A blue blood matchup we will watch in full.
No, you're right. We had a blue blood matchup. It was KU and UNLV. That's what we had on Friday night.
You mean UNLV that will be going to the playoff? That UNLV?
Yeah, no.
Undefeated Group of 5 champion UNLV? That's the one you're referring to?
That's what we had. No. Congratulations to K-State. Great win from you guys. Great win. Really good win for you guys. Salute. Missouri, another great win for you guys. You're ranked. You're top 10 in the country. Big one this week against Vanderbilt. You got to throw the records out when Vanderbilt comes to town. It was great. Hey, you know what? You guys got Lil John coming to Allen Fieldhouse, man. That's something to be excited about. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll get back to the Chiefs. They keep winning. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
35 northbound heading into downtown. You hit slowdowns around Cambridge Circle, and it's pretty heavy up towards about 25th Street. It picks up and moves a little better past that with an earlier problem as we checked that out on the Cordell and Cordell traffic cameras. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan traffic.
You could be on the 50 at GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Enter to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Pizza Tacio, the king of Kansas City's New York-style pizza scene, has taken KC by storm. Pizza Tacio uses the highest quality local and organic ingredients, hand-tossed by KC natives. Oh, and did I mention they were voted KC's favorite pizza? Place your order now for pickup or delivery at pizzatacio.com. Or stop in for a slice at any of their locations in OP, Midtown, North KC, St. Joe, Waldo, or Belton, and dive into the taste that's conquering Kansas City. One slice at a time.
Brought to you by Blue KC is the Coaches with Character program. Do you know a rock star high school coach in your district? Nominate them for the Blue KC Coaches with Character program at bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character. Let's make our coaches feel special and make our community a better place to live, work, and play.
Guess what, people? Wendy's has new saucy nugs. You heard me. Wendy's nugs now come in 7 saucy flavors. Buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, spicy ghost pepper. You can literally hear your taste buds after every bite. I'm serious. Listen to mine. Okay, that's just me playing with sound effects, but you got the idea. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This report is brought to you by Flying H Drag Strip. Drag racing is back in Kansas City. FlyingHDragStrip.com.
Kansas City, drag racing is back. Don't miss the Fall Smackdown, September 19th through 21st at Flying H Drag Strip. For tickets and info, visit FlyingHDragStrip.com. The real horsepower hangout.
Here are 4 reasons to buy the Royals Sunday 4-pack. 1. The Sunday 4-pack means your crew scores big. You get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas, and a parking pass. 2. It makes your Sunday a fun day every Sunday of the season. 3. You can choose your view. Watch the game from View Reserved, Outfield Plaza, or Field Plaza. 4. Prices start at $60. Presented by Price Chopper. Learn more at royals.com/fan value.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
O'Reilly.
Did you know 1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced? O'Reilly Auto Parts will test your battery for free in or out of your vehicle. We can help you find the best battery for your vehicle and budget. O'Reilly Auto Parts has batteries starting at just $79.99. Get your battery tested for free today at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Keep it twisted all year long with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Twisted Tea is real iced tea that packs a punch with 5% alcohol. Tastes great at the beach, the mountains, or even in your backyard. Look for the bright yellow Twisted Tea cans.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Tonight, expect a mostly clear night with a low of 66.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples store has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. Save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
What's up, KC? It's Trent McDuffie. Catch the play-by-play all season long with Mitch, Danon, and Kling right here on your home of the Chiefs. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City in Odyssey Sports Station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. The Royals back in action today. Rob, correct me if I'm wrong, the Royals only have 6 games remaining at home the rest of the way, at least in the regular season. So they are 2 games back of Baltimore for the wild card spot. So if the playoffs started today, the Royals would go on the road to play the Orioles. That's who I would like for the Royals to play. I think they beat the Orioles in that 3-game series. But if they can be 2 games better than Baltimore the rest of the way, they then would be the home team, and they would have at a minimum 2 games at Kauffman Stadium to see if they advance to the ALDS. Am I correct in that? I want to make sure that I'm saying accurate information here. We try to be accurate.
That is correct. On top of that correct information, a chance to play home playoff games here in Kansas City. The Royals have a magic number, which I would have told you back in April, even March, the Royals will not have a magic number, but their magic number is 8. And I believe with the win tonight over the Tigers, that magic number to clinch a playoff spot, something we have not talked about in near a decade here in Kansas City, could be 6 by the end of the day. So by week's end, we could go ahead and lock in that playoff berth for the Kansas City Chiefs and Kansas City Royals, and then just chase the home playoff game.
Chiefs locked the playoff spot in March.
They also locked it in.
Locked one in March.
They also locked it in this weekend.
We just got to wait for them to announce it. The Royals have 6 games remaining at home. They have 3 games against the Tigers Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Off day on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And you can catch all of those games right here on 96.5 The Fan. All right, Rob, so let's do this. We are off a little bit early today because the Royals' first pitch is at 6:40 as opposed to 7:10, so we're off today at 5:30. Let's do this. Before we get to the hits, I want to point something out to you guys because I think this is really important. I want you to take a look at the AFC standings. Now, we're not talking playoff positioning. It is obviously way too early for that, but I would like for you to take note. There are only 5 teams right now that are 2-0 in the AFC. Buffalo is 2-0. Pittsburgh is 2-0. Houston is 2-0. The Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers. In the NFC, there are a handful of teams. Minnesota, the Saints, Tampa Bay, and Seattle. We're also waiting to see what happens with Philadelphia. If they win today, they also would be 2-0. So at this point, over half of the league has already lost, obviously, because of week 1. And there are as many teams that are 0-2 that are 2-0 at this point. I bring all that up because this was a rough week for the contenders. Think about it. San Francisco lost. Dallas lost. Baltimore lost. The teams that you think are really good and have a chance to win the Super Bowl, Detroit also lost. You know what you don't apologize about under any circumstance? Man, you don't apologize about winning in the National Football League. It is a race basically to 11 or 12. If you get in that spot, you are firmly in the playoff and you are firmly in the conversation to be the 1 seed. Now, we can have the 1 seed conversation for a brief bit. You are 3 games up on Baltimore and Cincinnati. I don't know if Baltimore and Cincinnati both make the postseason. Now, you're going to have to turn things around. It's obviously a long way to go, but I'm going to guess that one of those teams don't turn things around. That's just kind of how the NFL goes. Those 2 teams still got to play each other. Those 2 teams still haven't played a game in their division, and we know how tough that division is. So the fact that you played who we perceive to be 2 of the better AFC teams, you won both of those games, you took care of business. Now, you've taken some injuries along the way, and we'll get to that with Isaiah Pacheco here coming up in a bit. But the one thing you never, ever do is apologize for figuring out a way to win, and that's what you did. I don't think the Chiefs played great yesterday. I think they would also tell you that. The Chiefs did not play well offensively at times. They had mistakes on the offensive end, and they usually don't give up at least 21 points. Cincinnati scored 25 points in this game. The Chiefs got outgained. They lost the turnover differential. They lost the time of possession. The Chiefs, if we are checking the box of how teams win, they didn't check off a whole lot of the boxes. But you know what? The Chiefs had more points at the end than the Cincinnati Bengals, and you survive and advance to the next week. They got Atlanta on Sunday Night Football. They got the Chargers, the only other good team in their division. They play them next week. So, again, this was one of those bloodbath weeks in the NFL. Dallas lost, Baltimore lost, the Lions lost. It was one of those rough weeks in the league. You won, you advanced to the next week, you gain ground on some critical teams in the AFC. Ultimately, that is all that matters. So, Rob, let's do this. Let's get to some of the hits, and we will talk about Kareem Hunt, who, if you missed it, Kareem Hunt is coming to Kansas City for a visit. He is going to do that tomorrow as the Chiefs are looking for a new running back off the heels of the injury with Isaiah Pacheco.
It's 5 o'clock, and your wife has tuna casserole ready for you at home. Might as well get caught up on the biggest stories of the day in Kansas City with C-Dot and Rob. This is The Hits. Number 1.
Carrington, the hits are brought to you by Baker University, where graduates earn higher salaries and land jobs faster than any other university in Kansas. Apply today at bakeru.edu. Carrington, you hit on it there. The top story of the day in Kansas City is, in fact, Isaiah Pacheco, who got hurt in the game on Sunday. Ian Rappaport with the latest when he was on NFL Network earlier today.
Isaiah Pacheco, sources say, fractured his fibula in yesterday's Chiefs win over the Cincinnati Bengals. This was kind of the fear leaving the stadium. He was in a walking boot. He was in crutches. Anytime they're going to take a look at the bone, usually that's not good. This is why initial test showed a fractured fibula. Now, my understanding is he's going to have more tests today to determine if there is associated damage. In other words, if there is damage to the ligaments, what needs to happen next, and how long he is going to be out. But it is a fracture, and generally those are 4, 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks. Don't be surprised if Isaiah Pacheco is placed on injured reserve. And for the Kansas City Chiefs, they do have some options at running back. Some we saw on the field yesterday. They do also have Jerick McKinnon, who's played for them the last couple of years, who's a free agent. There are certainly some options, but they are 2-0, and they have now lost Hollywood Brown for the foreseeable future and Isaiah Pacheco to a fractured fibula.
Rob, can you fade the music down real quick? I do want to answer the Isaiah Pacheco question. I promise you I will answer it. I might need to expand why we block people on the text line. You know our rule. I only block people who are racist or homophobic. You can curse me out on the text line. I leave you alone for the most part. But I did block one person one time for saying that Coming to America was overrated, just because that's a terrible opinion. Have you seen our top text? C-Dot, can we have an honest conversation about Patrick Mahomes? Is he still the best quarterback in the league? He hasn't been that old 350-yard, 5-touchdown guy in a long time. And I'm not going to listen to the weapons argument, because you got guys putting up 30 or 40 points a game with equal or less weapons. Is this a blockable opinion on the text line?
Blockable? No.
It's one of the worst sports opinions you could send in.
It's a really bad
one
opinion.
of the worst you could send in.
I mean, there's a lot to digest there about why it's wrong. Mahomes not the best quarterback in the league. He hasn't been a 350-5 guy in a long time, and apparently he's watching a different NFL than I am, because I'm not seeing a lot of guys put up 30, 40 points a game with no weapons.
300 yards and 2 touchdowns last week against Baltimore. What are we talking about? What is happening? I actually think that's a blockable offense. I'm serious. I think that's a blockable text. I really do. It's one of the worst texts we've ever received, and we've received some doozies.
I mean, I'm fine with probation. He's definitely in a probation state.
So we can write his number, we can block it, write his number down, and we can unblock him after the game. All right, let's do that. I'm serious. Block this gentleman.
He's in a 1-week ban.
You're in a 1-week ban. We have to change the rules. If we can move to FM, if I could change and you could change, we all got to change here. The rules got to get more strict. We got to block him. He then replied, listen to this. No, this is real. He then replied, C-Dot, you got guys like Derek Carr, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray. Just look at all those teams through the first 2 games. He's blocked. Rob, please handle this. I don't normally say that to you. You'll handle this. You got to handle this. Come on now. This is blockable. This is a blockable offense. You got to go. No, you cannot move forward on the text line. You're cut. You're cut.
Blocked.
You can't. Right now, write his number down.
Yeah,
and we will unblock you after the Sunday Night Football game. We got to start issuing out probations. You can't just say whatever wild thing on the text line and think that you can move forward. All right, I'm happy that we got that out of the way. I'm sorry for being detoured. I didn't want to get to the hits, but I'm sorry. I couldn't be staring at me right in the face and then I not say anything about it. That's my fault for getting off course. Let's talk about Isaiah Pacheco. Now, Rob, there's two ways to look at this. I have been telling you. Now, I'm not saying I said something special. I'm not saying I said anything special. But when you and I were talking about Carson Steele, I kept saying at some point something's going to happen to Isaiah Pacheco. We all watch the NFL. Rob, you play fantasy football. Do running backs just stay healthy for 5 consecutive years? No, something happens to your running back. So you need to be prepared for that option. The Chiefs are now without their starting running back, which happens in the league, and now they are left with a bunch of mediocre options for how to fix it when you had chances to solve this. Now, maybe you wouldn't have gotten J.K. Dobbins. He came in for a visit. I don't know why you came in for a visit if he wasn't prepared to be a 1A, 1B. Like we all know Isaiah Pacheco exists, but maybe he came in to feel it out. The money wasn't right, so he went to the Chargers, and he is having a great start with the Chargers. He's finally healthy. Healthy J.K. Dobbins is good. So in some ways, the Chiefs have kind of made their bed. Now they have to lay in it. There's not a lot of great options for them at running back. Let's talk about Kareem Hunt, because I think there's 2 different ways of looking at the Kareem Hunt thing. I guess maybe 3. Let's start with the first one. I don't know Kareem Hunt like that. I've talked to Kareem Hunt a couple of times. I probably know more about the situation than you guys, but I don't know him. The only people that can really answer to his character coming into this team are Andy Reid, Brett Veach, and Clark Hunt. Those are the people that he works for. He got fired from the Chiefs. He now wants to be rehired by the Chiefs. We all know why he got fired. I understand the principle of forgiveness and second chances. I have fallen short. You have fallen short. So I don't want to stand here on my pulpit and make it seem like, oh, you can never. No, you can always redeem yourself. But redemption has to start with acknowledgement. It has to start with atonement, and it has to start with actions of changing. I can't speak for that for Kareem Hunt. I don't know what he's been going through the last couple of years. Is alcohol still a part of his life? Has he gone through anger management courses? Like, these aren't conversations that we usually have about football players, but when I see you on film kick a woman and I see other video of you getting in fights at the club, these are fair questions to ask you if you want to come work back at this place. So that is something that I cannot answer or address. That is only something that they can. And if they hire him back and bring him back to the team, you best believe on Wednesday, they're going to have to answer that. And Brett Veach is going to have to do a press conference. And Clark Hunt is going to have to do a press conference. Hey, the last time that this guy was here, we saw him on camera kick a woman. And he did, remember that Lisa Salters interview that he did right before Monday Night Football? And then you cut him. You clearly had a stance. What made you change your stance? Now, I get it. Desperate times, desperate measure. The Chiefs really need a running back option. But there are other running back options that are out there. This is the one that you are choosing. To me, you have to hold them accountable in that way. So that's the football part of it. This is not me condemning Kareem Hunt, but these are just honest conversations that you got to have when you got kicked off the team for kicking a woman. You didn't get kicked off the team because you wasn't good enough. That's why they kicked Kadarius Toney off the team. You wasn't good enough. You got to go. They kicked Kareem Hunt off for a very different reason. So that's the first part of it. The second part is I just want people to be realistic about what he is now at this point. We've seen Kareem Hunt for the last 2 years in the National Football League. We've seen him. He's averaging 3.4 yards per carry the last 2 years that he's been in the league. In 2022, he had 123 carries for less than 500 yards. That's good for 3.8 yards per carry. In last season, so 2023, he played in 15 games. So he was healthy last year. He got the ball 135 times. He got 411 yards. He averaged 3.0 yards per carry, but he did have 9 touchdowns. So I am not telling you that Kareem Hunt is going to be great. I'm not telling you that I think he's bad. I think the Chiefs are in between a rock and a hard place because you usually are not going to find really productive running backs or really productive anything at this point in the season. That was a March question. And I think we kind of knew that their running back room was a little thin, and they chose not to spend a draft pick on that position. Like, the decisions and choices that you make from a roster construction standpoint, they come back to bite you sometimes. They didn't really spend a lot of resources to try to address running back. Well, you kind of knew, hey, if something happens to Isaiah Pacheco, they're in a little bit of a bind. Something happened to Isaiah Pacheco, and now most of the options are bad options. I was fully prepared to come in here today and tell you that the Chiefs should go get Damian Harris. Damian Harris is not a great option. He was not good last year. He's currently not in the league. But they have to do something. They're not going into Sunday Night Football with 2 running backs. They're going to go get somebody. So maybe you think they should go get Dalvin Cook. He also was not good last year. And he can't play on the Dallas Cowboys that have the worst running back room in the National Football League. Maybe you want them to go get Damian Harris or Boston Scott or Latavius Murray or any one of these other options. At this point, my bad option and your bad option is 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. It really is. I'm not here to tell you that your option is a bad option. I just don't want anybody to come into this like, oh, man, they should have went out and got – no, Leonard Fournette's bad too. All you need is somebody who can come in here, knows the offense, stays out of trouble, helps pass block, and you think can touch the ball between 6 to 8 times. And let's say that this thing doesn't work. You're not giving him a whole lot of money. I'm also going to guess that his contract's not fully guaranteed through the rest of the year. If it's not working in 3 weeks, cut him. At that point, Clyde Edwards-Helaire could be back. You then bring him into the mix, or we'll be closer to the trade deadline where you could potentially do a move and go get Miles Sanders if that's who you want. Go get Devin Singletary if you want. There's going to be guys on one-year deals on their current team that you can swoop in, and if you're willing to trade a draft pick. So I wouldn't think about this as a rest of the season move. I would think about this in getting us to the middle of October. Do you trust Kareem Hunt to get you to the next 4 weeks of the season? I do. So I would say for the most part, I am on board with this move. It's not my favorite move, but I don't really think outside of the off the field stuff, and that's a big asterisk by it, I don't really know if there's many reasons to be totally against this move. I also don't know if there's a lot of reasons to be overly optimistic about this move. It's a running back move in week 3 of the NFL. Those aren't going to be home run swings.
I want to read this for you. This is from our own Bob Fesco of Fesco and Dusty, who is extremely plugged in with the Kansas City Chiefs. He tweeted this out recently. The Chiefs plan to bring Kareem Hunt back in for a look per a source. If he looks good, he could be signed to the practice squad. The Chiefs are also expecting Clyde Edwards-Helaire back soon, so they do not feel they need to bring in a ton of reinforcements at running back.
Who is this from again?
That's from Bob Fesco.
Okay.
So Bob Fesco, you and I both know, very plugged in.
No, I got you.
Super plugged in, like really connected. Point is, I am anti this move if he's going to be a contributor. But based on Bob's text, or excuse me, his tweet, X, whatever you want to call it, based on that, this sounds more like Melvin Gordon. Remember when the Chiefs brought him in and people were like, hey, 2 years ago he was great, and this year he stunk because Denver stunk. Let's just see. And he played 0 snaps, was active 0 times, and got a Super Bowl ring. If that's the plan for Kareem Hunt, come here, mend some fences. You'll be a third running back, but you're not going to get snaps, and you just kind of are around in case of a emergency. You're the break glass move. I'm not anti the move. But if there are any expectations or thought that Kareem Hunt is coming in here and going to be an actual contributor to the team, that's where me and people like the text line seem to differentiate, because he was really bad last season in Cleveland. And he was really bad as the starter, which for some reason people tend to forget.
Text line 913-586-7965. What about Jerick McKinnon? I just already think they have that option in Samaje Perine. Like, I don't think it makes a lot of sense to have both Perine and Jerick McKinnon. You don't really want either of those guys to get carries. I also don't think, I like Carson Steele. I don't think Carson Steele is going to be a guy that you're giving 15 carries to on Sunday Night Football. They could use another option. I don't think they're going on somebody else's practice squad to put that player on the 53-man roster. I don't think they're moving up Keontae Ingram on their practice squad to be their number 2 running back. They don't have a number 2 running back right now. And I like Samaje Perine. He is a third down pass catching back. That's what Jerick McKinnon is. Right now, the Chiefs do not have a number 2 running back. They're going to fill that void with an established NFL player. So I think in the next 24 to 36 hours, we will get the tweet that the Chiefs have signed Kareem Hunt to a deal, and that will be that. I do want to talk about this before we get out of here. And we talked about it earlier about Cincinnati. I am willing to have the conversation with other people that the Chiefs have been on the right end of some 50-50 calls. It happens, right? It's football. It's sports. Sometimes the calls go in your way. Sometimes they go against you. That's life, right? Cincinnati has no one to blame but themselves for how they lost. Nobody to blame but themselves. They had every opportunity in the world to win that game. Every opportunity. They had a 3rd and 7 that they turned into a 3rd and 22 because their star wide receiver got a stupid penalty. They had the ball 25-23 with less than 8 minutes to go in the game and gained 17 yards and punted. Stop going back and forth with Bengals fans and letting them say, oh, well, you guys only beat us because of the officials. No, that's not accurate. We beat you because we are better than you, because we are better coached than you. We are better prepared for these moments than you are. You know what happened on Sunday? The Chiefs get off to good starts routinely, and their opponents didn't. And that is a theme for Cincinnati. So we're going to play some audio from you guys. I wouldn't listen to them. They're wrong. This is the worst officiating controversy that we've had regarding the Chiefs. This only happens to the winning teams. Trust me, no one thinks that the officiating is rigged for any other team in the league except the one that keeps winning all the time. You thought the same thing about the Patriots. Oh, man, the league